This guy's reaction is absolutely insane. When others get fired by the hero and their teammates, they break down right there. But instead, he's practically jumping for joy. To understand why, we need to go back a bit. Listen, Ed, you don't need to come in starting tomorrow. Hearing this, Ed freezes for a moment. But quickly, he responds with a serious expression. I see. Not coming is fine by me. So, tomorrow's a day off, right? But the moment he finishes, his teammate shouts angrily, are you an idiot? I didn't say tomorrow. I said starting tomorrow. That means we don't need you anymore. Ed's expression freezes for a moment, but he quickly forces a smile and replies, trying to stay calm. Come on, you must be really drunk to joke about something like this. At this, his teammate responds coldly, it's not sudden at all. We've discussed it several times when you weren't around. This is a decision from all of us. This statement makes Ed panic instantly, and he looks toward the other teammates. A decision from all of you? Wait, didn't we promise to defeat the Demon Lord together? Lord Hero, you're joking, right? No, this time I'm serious. Listen, Ed, you truly are a talented person. That's why I invited you to join the team, and everyone welcomed you. For a while after you joined, you've been a huge help and taught us so much. Feeling there might still be room to turn things around, Ed interjects, but before he can finish, the hero's voice cuts him off. But look at what you've become lately, slacking off in your assigned work, going through the motions during training time, while everyone is constantly finding ways to improve for future battles. But you're still stuck at the level you were at when you joined. Even so, we believe that someday you'd regain your motivation and return to your active self. But our patience has its limits. Hearing this, Ed lowers his head dejectedly. I see, yes, Ed, you've been expelled from our hero's party. With those words, the atmosphere instantly becomes heavy, just as everyone thinks Ed will leave in dejection. A mysterious smile appears on his face. At the same time, a long-absent voice echoes in Ed's mind. Conditions confirmed. 10 minutes until return. Hearing this, Ed can no longer suppress his joy. I finally don't have to pretend anymore. This absurd reaction leaves his teammates completely stunned and worried. What's wrong with you? Did the shock of being fired break your brain? But the response they get is, no, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just thrilled that my mission is finally complete. Oh, before I leave, could you accept these? With those words, a void appears before Ed. Seeing this, Megath the mage shouts in shock, wait, that thing, is it? You guessed right. These are guidebooks I prepared for you. Hearing this, Megath nearly faints on the spot. I'm not talking about that. I mean the dimensional storage. Even across the entire continent, people who have this ultra-rare skill can be counted on one's fingers. Why didn't you ever mention this before? With a skill like that, there are countless ways it could be used. Hearing this, Ed calmly responds, rather than such trivial matters, you should read the guidebooks first. These are based on combat data I've collected from everyone so far. I've compiled efficient training methods suited to each person, ways to learn new skills, and more. No matter what growth path you want to pursue, you'll find relevant guidance in these books. Hearing this, Moira asks Ed curiously, this lists magic I can learn, but some of these names I've never seen before. Oh, those? I figured if you grow smoothly, you'll naturally learn them. The details are summarized on a separate sheet. Just look at it when you need it. But the moment he finishes, Jin asks Ed excitedly, what is this? How did you create a map with such terrifyingly precise detail? It even shows hidden paths that I, as a scout, didn't notice, and the locations of all the traps are marked. Hearing this, Ed replies calmly, having a map makes things easier, but only for places I've been. Of course you can't map places you haven't been. What I'm asking is how you made these maps. But before he can finish, Ed cuts in. Those technical details are a secret, of course. After all, I'm no longer part of the hero's party. Hearing this, the hero Kyle finally breaks his silence. He immediately bows to Ed and apologizes. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were doing so much work behind the scenes. Please forgive my blindness. Seeing this, Moira does the same. I'm sorry, Ed. Hard work should accumulate quietly and doesn't need to be shown to others. But I didn't understand that and still wanted to expel you. At this point, Jin also apologizes sheepishly to Ed. Seeing this, Ed quickly says, don't do this. Everyone, please, that's not why I did this. I just thought that even if I'm gone, I should at least help everyone who took care of me. You fool. We're taking it all back. The expulsion is canceled. And I'm sure not a single one of us fools here, me included, would object. Yes, Ed, we hope you find it in your heart to forgive us and stay with us. Hearing this, Ed shows a touched expression and calls out, Lord Hero, that won't work. I can't. Sorry, this completely unexpected answer throws everyone for a loop. Yeah, we already expelled you and now want you back. That's really shameless. But the response they get is, actually, that's not what I meant. Anyway, I look forward to the day you all defeat the Demon Lord. The moment he finishes, Ed runs off without looking back. The reason he's in such a hurry is none other than the voice echoing in his mind again. 10 seconds until return. To avoid causing a commotion, Ed rushes toward the deserted bell tower, and in the final second, he reaches the inside of the bell tower just in time. This should be far enough. With the countdown in his mind reaching 0, a long absent phrase flashes across his mind. Now executing world transfer. As the voice fades, Ed's body plunges into a sacred ocean of light, dissolving into it as he falls. When the transfer is complete, Ed Ed has been transported to an unknown space. Its floor is water he can stand on, and its sky radiates sacred light. In this endless space stand countless doors of all sizes, and Ed is clearly used to this place. I can't believe it took a full year this time. Took longer than expected. I'm exhausted, but with this, it's finally done. Now it's your turn, right? It's time to fulfill the promise. Let me go home already, damn deity. But when he makes this request, he's met with only silence. Ed isn't surprised by this. After all, it's been this way since his first day here. He was just an ordinary, errand-running mercenary, living a quiet, mundane life, when one day he was suddenly summoned here. In that endless space, there was only a table and a mysterious book with a pure white cover, and a single door. Though the deity said nothing, even a child would guess in this situation. To first read the mysterious book, even if the contents were utter trash. Go through the door to another world, and get recognized as a companion by the hero there. Work together for more than half a year and gain a certain level of trust, and by being exiled, the conditions will be met. Afterward, you will return to the divine realm. Additional notes: doors once opened cannot be opened again. At the same time, a door to the next other world will be added. Thinking about this, Ed sighs. Honestly, no matter how many times I read it, it's still utterly baffling. With this ridiculous guide, I spent nearly 100 years traveling through 100 other worlds, and finally got expelled by all the heroes. Do you have any idea what I went through to achieve this? The perseverance it took? So how about a little celebration? Maybe a reward? Yet even so, the deity still says nothing. This makes Ed feel like he's been talking to a brick wall. But fortunately, even after all this time, he hasn't aged. Time is frozen in the divine realm, but in the other worlds, time flows normally. His body builds muscle through training and gains weight from overeating. However, the moment he returns to this pure white space, all those changes are reset, restoring him to the state he was in when he first arrived. That is to say, I've traveled through 100 different worlds with the body and mind of a 20-something, experiencing a century of adventure. Basically, an immortal young guy. Actually, if I went back as a 100-year-old man, probably no one would remember me, not just those fools, probably not even Mom. Thinking this, Ed can't help but smile bitterly. It really was a long and unforgettable journey. So that's enough, right? Everything's done. Now it's your turn to keep your promise. Let me go home. With those words, the crystal on the table suddenly shines with brilliant light. As always, every time Ed gets expelled from another world, the crystal grants him some mysterious new ability, and he freely calls these powers exiled skills. The guidebooks and maps he made for the heroes earlier use these abilities. The only reason someone as ordinary as him could hold his place in the heroes' party was entirely thanks to these powers. So this is the reward for completing everything? Well, I don't really care, but since it's being offered, might as well take it. Thinking this, Ed places his hand on the crystal. The next second, an unknown power flows through his arm straight to his brain. When everything settles, Ed has learned a completely new ability. He mutters, "Seriously? Another incredible ability. But this is the first time I've seen a one-time use skill, and this is the kind of thing too precious to use until the very last moment, isn't it?" But the moment he finishes, Ed is shocked to discover something in the distance he's never seen before. The space is wavering. Did another door appear? No, wait. Every new door has always appeared next to the previous one, never in the opposite direction. Could that be? At that thought, Ed rushes to the door and checks the number. It clearly reads 000, a number before the beginning, so this is the door to my original world. If I open this door, I should be able to return to where I was born, the world I've longed to return to for 100 years. Ed suddenly realizes something's wrong. Wait, 100 years? Time flows normally in other worlds, so 100 years have passed in my original world too. If that's true, won't my friends and family be long gone? At that realization, Ed cries out to the deity in a panic. I've given 100 years of my life to you. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say you robbed me of that time. I couldn't understand the reason, the purpose, or even the meaning. I just kept doing the labor forced upon me. We've come this far. At least respond to me. Or do you want me to use that skill I just got right here? That's my reward for clearing everything. You can't mess with people like this. But no matter how much Ed shouts himself hoarse, the deity still says nothing. Just as Ed is about to give up, suddenly a book falls from the sky. Do you want me to read it? Ed can only reluctantly flip through it. The number marked on the door shows how much time has passed in that world since you left. Seeing this, Ed quickly looks at the door. I can't believe there's actually such a string of numbers, and they're nothing but zeros. Does it connect to the very moment I was imprisoned here? Can I return to that day, that place? Thinking this, Ed eagerly grabs the door handle, but he finds it won't open. Just as he's puzzled by this, another book suddenly falls from the sky. What the heck? Another book? But when Ed reluctantly opens it, there's actually a key inside, and there's also a note that reads Complete Exile Commemoration. Seriously? A commemorative item for something no one would want to commemorate? Using this key, you can open a door to any other world you visited once and visit it again. Also, the return condition doesn't require being expelled. Just use this key on any door in that world and you can return here. Afterward, the key will disappear and the door to world 0000 will open. Finally, why not visit a world you've been to and witness its conclusion with your own eyes? Damn it, I don't want to see that. What is this? You won't let me return to my original world unless I visit another world first? If the return condition involves getting expelled again, I'm going to lose it. But it says I just need to use the key on a door over there to come back. No big deal. So I just pick a random world, look around, and come back, right? Easy and simple. So which one should I choose? This one? That one? Or maybe this one? Given how I'm feeling right now, I should pick. But just as Ed's feeling pretty pleased with himself. Suddenly a door catches his eye. That is the very first door. The first world. This makes him recall with emotion, I really went through a lot back then. Without understanding anything, completely clueless. I was thrown into this first other world. Joining the hero's party? That's normally something only hero-level people can do. For someone like me with strength barely better than a regular guard, it was absolutely impossible. The reason it became possible was because, when I was summoned, I gained an exiled skill called Inevitable Accident. Fate would connect me with a hero. Thanks to this skill, I managed to join the hero's party. But the problem came after joining. At the time, I didn't have the strength to fight alongside the hero or any skills to provide support. Shrouded in the fear of being abandoned at any moment, I desperately searched for things I could do. Arranging lodging, stocking supplies, hauling gear, gathering intel on our destinations. I did everything I could think of. Honestly, I had no idea how the other three viewed my work, but in the year and a half before I was expelled, I believe we were undoubtedly companions. Come to think of it, after I was expelled, what happened there? Ed looks at the number below. The number is 10. Has it really been 10 years? Those guys must have easily defeated the Demon Lord, and the world has surely welcomed the long-awaited peace. Alright, I've decided. In that case, I think I'll head over and do a little sightseeing in this peaceful world. Actually, I was forced onto that journey. Looking back now, it really was harsh, but not everything was unbearable. Though there were many hardships and frustrations, there were definitely plenty of happy memories too. Let's go back to that nostalgic first otherworld. The first door. The first world. In that very first otherworld, I met companions to adventure with for the first time. Even after 100 years, I can still clearly remember their faces. 10 years have passed since then. Behind this door must be a peaceful world, right? Back then, I believed it without a doubt. The moment he stepped through the door, an endless plain comes into Ed's view. It's the same place as when he first arrived. I thought I'd forgotten everyone, but coming back here, I realize I remember everything clearly. If I lose this key, that'll be a problem. I need to keep it safe. I remember there should be a town around here. Right, it's over there. Since the Demon Lord has probably been defeated, there shouldn't be any powerful monsters around here. But just to be safe, I should check first. But the moment he finishes, Ed suddenly senses killing intent behind him. This makes him immediately dodge forward. Sure enough, the next second he's under attack from an unknown enemy. Ed adjusts his stance while confirming the enemy's identity. But to his surprise, the one attacking him is a ferocious monster with immense power. This strange turn of events catches Ed off guard. Why would a beast like this show up here? Well, whatever. Perfect for a test run. Ed pulls out a short sword from Wanderer's treasury. Good. Looks like skills I didn't master back then can be used normally now. Now let's test what this thing is made of. The moment he finishes, the serpent's strike engulfs him completely. But to the beast's surprise, its supposedly unstoppable venomous fangs can't pierce this weak human's body. Ed, protected by impregnable wall, taunts calmly. Too bad. Seems like an attack of your level can't bite through me. Hearing this, the furious monster immediately increases its biting force. But in the very next second, its two venomous fangs shatter, as if they've bitten into solid diamond, and go flying off. The intense pain leaves it in agony. Meanwhile, Ed continues with a cocky taunt. Don't tell me that's it. If you've got any tricks, bring them on. But the moment he finishes, the giant serpent suddenly spits a pool of green slime at him. Magical dissolving fluid. Perfect timing. With those words, the serpent's slime completely engulfs Ed. And just like last time, he stands in place without moving a single finger. The magic absorbing staff alone neutralizes the attack. Looks like I'm covered against physical and magical attacks, so the last thing to test is my combat strength. With a swift slash from Ed, the enormous creature before him is easily split in two. Job done. Now I can really relax and sightsee. But at this moment, Ed still hasn't realized what kind of despair awaits him ahead. Ed puts away his weapon and heads toward the town. This area is still exactly the same as back then. Feels so nostalgic. When I first came to this world, I was restricted to joining the hero's party and traveling with them. But this time, I can go wherever I want. Plus, the gold in Wanderer's treasury is piled like a mountain, more than enough for me to spend freely. Maybe in this peaceful era, they're even selling replica armor the hero wore or merchandise like hero buns. Thinking this, corresponding images float through Ed's mind. This makes him laugh out loud. I definitely wouldn't want to wear it, but I kind of want one anyway. But the moment he finishes, Ed suddenly stares into the distance. That is... Wait, how is that possible? What's going on? Ed shows an expression of disbelief and rushes forward. When he gets close enough, he's even more shocked by the scene before him. The once bustling town in his memory has now become a deathly silent ruin. This makes him wonder in shock, why did this happen? Was it attacked by monsters? No, wait, the Demon Lord should have been defeated already. But then how do I explain this devastation? Could it be war between humans? After losing the Demon Lord as a common enemy, did the nations turn on each other? Suspicion turning allies into enemies? That would make sense, but the war just ended 10 years ago, and it's already like this? It's hard to believe any reconstruction is happening. What on earth happened in these 10 years I was gone? But just as Ed puzzles over this, suddenly an old man's voice comes from the ruins. Young man, what are you doing in a place like this? There's nothing left around here. You were lured here by false information, weren't you? Here, take this. Be more careful from now on. This sudden turn of events leaves Ed completely baffled. Excuse me, sir. What happened here? But the response he gets is, what are you talking about? This place became a ruin 2 years ago. The demon army attacked here and destroyed everything. Ed can't believe his ears. The demon army? 2 years ago? Sir, are you messing with me? The demon army is still around? Hearing this, the old man replies impatiently. Hey, what kind of nonsense is that? The demon army's been ravaging the world for years. You don't even know that? Where the hell are you from? Hearing this, Ed asks in disbelief, still active. You're saying the demon army's been at it this whole time? Not just remnants? What about the hero? Isn't there a hero? Right, the hero Alexis. Seeing the old man show a puzzled expression, Ed shouts excitedly, the prince of this kingdom. Alexis, who is one step away from defeating the demon lord 10 years ago. Hearing this, the old man seems to remember. Oh, the hero? He died in battle against the demon army 5 years ago? Died? How is that possible? That guy was the hero. How could he just... But halfway through, Ed suddenly recalls the large monster he encountered near the town. Could the hero really have? Noticing his strange expression, the old man continues, no matter how much you deny it, this town is the best proof. If the hero were still alive, perhaps this place wouldn't have ended up like this. Hearing this, Ed seems to suddenly remember something. He grabs the old man and presses him. What about his companions? There were 2 others in the hero's party, right? What about them? But the response he gets is, who knows? Probably died together with him. After all, I haven't heard any news about them surviving. It's sad, isn't it? Full of hope, only to end up like this. We kept hearing they were unstoppable, but in the end it turned out like this. Which parts were real? Common folk like us have no way of knowing. Whatever. Prince or hero, dead is dead, and that's all there is to it. Farewell, young man. I suggest you leave here quickly. Ed doesn't respond to the old man's advice because he's still immersed in tremendous grief. Dead? You said dead? Why did this happen? What happened after I was expelled? It wasn't someone insignificant like me, but the actual hero's party that lost to the demon army. They lost and everyone died? Was it because of me? Because I wasn't there? No, it can't be like that. Just having one more person to carry luggage couldn't possibly change an outcome this brutal. I'm being way too self-important. Why not visit a world you've been to and witness its conclusion with your own eyes? Damn it, is this the conclusion you wanted me to see? Ed slowly extends his right hand. Activate exiled skill, Akashic's compass. What I seek is the place where hero Alexis died. The moment he speaks, the compass's outer ring spins wildly while visions materialize in the inner ring. He's really dead. Is this direction the demon lord's capital? After a moment of silence, Ed murmurs weakly, where is Okasa, the monk's place of death? The same place as Alexis. So they died in battle together. What am I even doing? After finding their death locations, am I just supposed to go build graves for them? At this thought, Ed is on the verge of a breakdown and struggles to call out the last name. Tia. Where is Lunaria Tia's location of death? However, this time, Akashic's compass doesn't immediately point to a location. This anomaly immediately catches Ed's attention. He checks the information on the compass again. Could it be? At this thought, Ed immediately changes the command and exclaims with excitement, where is Tia Lunaria's current location? As he finishes speaking, Akashic's compass begins spinning wildly. With a pounding heart, Ed waits nervously for the result. Soon, a unique structure appears on the compass. Seeing this, Ed's hope reignites instantly. When the compass stops completely, Ed doesn't wait even a second. He immediately activates an exiled skill in the direction the needle points. Hermes dash. In an instant, Ed turns into a gust of wind. At an incredible speed, he begins sprinting. Right now, Ed has only one thought, to see Tia as soon as possible. For this, he even increases his speed further. Tia, she's still alive. However, while Ed is still immersed in thoughts of finding Tia, a large lake appears ahead, with a massive swarm of monsters at its center. To reach Tia as quickly as possible, Ed doesn't want to waste even 1 second. So instead of going around, he charges straight toward the lake's center and releases an exiled skill, Mirage Shift. He passes straight through the monsters' bodies. The effect lasts for an hour. During this time, Ed crosses mountain peaks, passes through freezing cold, and wades through scorching heat. He even steps onto the land of death. Shortly after entering the demon realm, Ed's exiled skill, Mirage Shift, wears off as its duration ends. But even so, Ed's speed shows no signs of slowing. Meanwhile, at the demon realm's forward fortress, pre-battle rallying is underway. Listen up, warriors. This expedition will add another ruin to those humans' lands. Our victory is near. March straight ahead. Destroy anything that stands in our way. But as soon as he finishes speaking, the demon commander suddenly notices something approaching in the distance. But while he's still puzzled, that thing has already reached the rear of the army. Before they can even react, the rampaging Ed plows through like an autumn wind scattering leaves, sending everything in his path flying. This absurd scene leaves the demon commander completely stunned. Even as Ed leaves the demon realm and heads to the next location, the demon commander still hasn't figured out what destroyed his army. Crossing half the planet, Ed finally arrives at a dark, dense forest, and now he finally stops, dragging his exhausted body. Ed slowly raises his right hand, then looks ahead. The structure shown should be right here. But just as he's about to go in and search for Tia, Ed suddenly realizes something awkward. Oh no, I should have brought some kind of gift! At this thought, Ed frantically starts rummaging through the Wanderer's treasury. Is there anything that looks nice and presentable? Wait, is this an orange fruit? I'll go with this. After all, I remember Tia loves sweet fruits. This will do. After preparing the greeting gift, Ed walks straight to the treehouse and takes a deep breath. He's about to knock on the door, but at the last moment he hesitates. Wait a second. To Tia, I'm just a troublesome guy who got kicked out of the hero's party. If someone like that suddenly shows up, would she greet me with a smile? Forget it. I've already come all this way. How can I back down now? With this thought, Ed musters his courage and knocks on the door, then takes another deep breath, waiting for her to open it. But several seconds pass without a sound from behind the door. Assuming Tia hasn't heard, Ed gives the door a few more heavy knocks. Is anyone there? Finding no response, a wave of panic surges through him. Is she not home? But when he presses against the wooden door trying to catch sounds inside, Ed awkwardly discovers the door isn't even locked. This makes him even more flustered, and he hurriedly quickly explains. It's not what you think. I just wanted to open the door. I absolutely have no intention of trespassing. But as soon as he finishes, a familiar voice reaches his ears. Who is it? Who's there? This voice. Even after 100 years, Ed still remembers vividly. That golden hair shining like the sun, and those emerald eyes are so nostalgic. Ed stands frozen for a moment. Meanwhile, the drowsy Tia sees his face clearly and murmurs in disbelief. Am I still dreaming? Hearing this, Ed snaps back to reality. He slowly calls out her name. This makes Tia instantly realize she's not dreaming. Ed? Is it really Ed? Yes. Long time no see, but before Ed can finish, Tia eagerly rushes toward him. Everything is just like 100 years ago. This sudden scene catches Ed completely off guard. But unlike his expression, Tia is so excited she keeps shouting Ed's name. Ed hurriedly says, wait, calm down. You're way too close. This is a bit too much. But the response he gets is, it's really Ed. I never thought I'd see you alive. Hey, you're overreacting. Talking about seeing me alive is way too dramatic. To this, Tia says with teary eyes, it's not dramatic at all. As a member of the hero's party, you were quite famous, but we couldn't find any news about you after you left the party, so I thought. Hearing this, Ed quickly says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to worry you, it's just, think about it. Being kicked out of the hero's party doesn't sound very honorable, right? So I changed my name and went to make a living in another country. Though Ed says this, in reality, 10 minutes after being kicked out, he was transported back to the divine realm. But Tia doesn't really care where he went before, because right now what matters most is that Ed is safe and alive. Ed, I'm so glad you're safe. Now that I can finally relax, I feel like I might collapse. Hearing this, Ed can't help but complain to himself that he's the one about to collapse, all while gently settling Tia into a chair. That's when Tia spots the fruit on the floor. Her eyes light up. Are these orange fruits? How are there so many? After hearing their gifts Ed brought, Tia says with regret, I'm happy you brought gifts, but there's no bath in this house. A bath? Why would you specifically need to go to a bath to eat them? But the response is, Ed, orange fruits are meant to be cut into several pieces and put in bathwater. They release a wonderful fragrance and make your skin smooth. Hearing this, Ed immediately says with exasperation, you can eat these straight up, and they're sweet. I'm not kidding. Come on, just try one and you'll see. I'll cut them for you right now. Just wait, they'll be sweet for sure. Tia can only sit there obediently, still a bit skeptical as she waits for him. But during this time, Tia suddenly notices something strange. By the way, Ed, why is your clothing in such tatters? This? Well, naturally, it's because I was desperate to see a certain young lady who happens to be an old friend of mine. So I pushed myself a bit and rushed over from the other side of the world. Hearing this, Tia chuckles. Ed, what are you going on about? What? I worked really hard. I flew right over. Hearing this, Tia shows a touched expression, but soon she stands up and climbs the stairs. I'll change my clothes first. Ed, take your time. While agreeing, Ed can't help but think. So that was sleepwear, but while his imagination starts to run wild, Tia suddenly pokes her head out and says playfully, does Ed want to change clothes together? Not a chance. This familiar feeling makes Ed feel like he's back 100 years ago, when they adventured together. Back then, having no luck with women, he was unsettled several times by Tia's casual touching, or getting so close he could feel her breath. By the way, is this Tia's home? After looking around, Ed's gaze finally lands on the dining table. Even though she lives alone, there are 4 chairs, and after opening the bedroom curtains, 3 neatly clean beddings come into view. At the sight of them, a wave of inexplicable sorrow washes over Ed. Tia has been alone, waiting for teammates who can never return. But while he's thinking about this, a voice suddenly reaches his ears. Ed, sorry for the wait. Hearing this, Ed is nearly scared out of his wits. He hurriedly explains, it's not what you think. But halfway through, his gaze is caught by her outfit. Tia's cheeks are flushed. Her bashful expression makes her already stunning beauty even more radiant. What do you think? It's not weird, is it? Ed doesn't respond to Tia's words. Right now, his mind is consumed by why she's wearing the exact same outfit as back then. The fact that she's in full adventuring gear indoors makes zero sense to him. Is Tia on her guard against me? Then again, it stands to reason, someone who's been missing for 10 years suddenly showing up at her door? She'd be right to think I have ulterior motives. But while he's thinking, Tia suddenly calls his name. This startles Ed. What is it? But the response is, take it off. This instantly flusters Ed. But when he actually takes off his clothes, Tia opens a sewing kit and starts mending. It's really not sour. These are orange fruits. Hearing this, Ed immediately responds, of course it's true. If you think it tastes bad, I'll agree to any request you make. Okay, it's settled then. Feed me. Hearing this, Ed immediately says awkwardly, why? Just eat it yourself. But the response is, I'm mending Ed's clothes right now. I can't free my hands. Oh, I wish someone would feed me. Under Tia's coaxing. Ed finally surrenders and does as told. But unexpectedly, after eating the orange fruit, Tia immediately says, so sour. Seeing her expression almost in tears, Ed panics. No way. Did I just happen to pick a sour one? That can't be such a coincidence. Thinking this, Ed carefully puts an orange fruit in his mouth. It's clearly very sweet, miss. At this moment, Tia can't help but burst out laughing. I say, Miss Tia, at your age, playing such childish pranks isn't appropriate, is it? It's just once. What's the harm? Didn't we used to play like this often? That's complete nonsense. I was the only one getting teased. Oh, come on. I adored you so much. After their familiar banter, Ed can't help but sigh. Even after 10 years, Tia hasn't changed much, though Tia looks even younger than him. She's actually over 100 years old. Perhaps to her, this behavior is just playing with a child. So Ed desperately tries not to have strange thoughts. And this judgment was confirmed in an unpleasant way at the last moment. Thinking this, Ed says half-jokingly, calmly, just what I'd expect from the woman who kicked me out of the hero's party. But as soon as he says this, Tia's smile vanishes from her face. This makes Ed immediately realize he said the wrong thing. I didn't mean it like that. I never hated Tia or held a grudge about that. I was just reminiscing and feeling a bit sentimental. But as soon as he finishes, Tia says, I'm sorry. This makes Ed even more flustered. I really didn't mean it like that. That was my fault. Please forgive me. But the response is, but Ed, you came here to blame me, didn't you? That's why you came all this way. Because only I survived. Seeing the usually cheerful Tia show such a guilty expression, Ed doesn't know how to comfort her for a moment. After thinking it over, Ed can only ask Tia, can you tell me what happened after I left the party? After a moment of silence, Tia slowly says, after you left, we immediately started looking for someone to replace Ed, but progress wasn't smooth. By the time you left, we were already very close to the front lines between humans and the demon army, so those who applied only wanted to fight alongside us to earn glory. But what we needed was someone who could fully manage the supplies so we could focus entirely on combat without worries, so we couldn't work with anyone who ignored the supplies and jumped into battle on their own. We went through about 6 people, and every single one quit right away. In the end, we hired a professional porter, but even that person only lasted 3 months before leaving. Hearing this, Ed immediately says with surprise, forget about those slackers, but why would a professional porter quit? But the response is because that person could only carry supplies. Ed, besides carrying supplies, you desperately did all sorts of things. Cleaning, laundry, arranging accommodations, and cooking for us. Hearing this, Ed remembers how weak he was back then. To avoid being kicked out of the party, he worked desperately to prove his worth. At this time, Tia continues, we all take Ed's hard work for granted, so when we finally get a new guy, Alexis asks him to do all the same stuff. But after hearing it, that person angrily said, my job is only to carry supplies, not other chores. If you have such needs, hire professional servants or errand runners. After hearing him say this, Alexis said, then get lost. Hearing this, Ed can't help but think, if you're using me as the benchmark, no wonder the porter is angry. Just as the thought crosses his mind, Tia's voice reaches Ed's ears once more. He must be so overwhelmed by everything that he can't even keep his cool. It's only then that we realize just how important you are. The very person we kicked out. But at this point, Tia suddenly pauses and grits her teeth hard. After a moment of silence, she continues, her tone growing heavier. From then on, no one was willing to take the job. Then, just when we had reached our lowest point, someone approached us. He said he was willing to do both carrying supplies and chores. So Alexis gladly accepted him. Okasa and I also welcomed him warmly. And so, we could finally resume our activities. That person worked incredibly hard too. After a long time, the 4 of us finally crossed the magic mirror, but when we emerged from the deep forest and reached the demon lord's domain, the demon army was waiting as if they knew we'd come. Though we had a premonition and were prepared, at this critical moment, that person ran away. The porter took all our prepared recovery potions and magic tools, covered in a blue light, and vanished without a trace. Tia's words deeply shock Ed. You said light? Could it be a transfer crystal? To this, Tia confirms, yes. To retreat to the capital in an emergency, we prepared crystals for everyone. Those crystals trigger automatically as soon as they break. Since it would be quite a hassle if they shattered by accident during a fight, we left them all in that person's care. Hearing this, Ed immediately exclaims angrily, what the hell? He just got scared and ran off by himself? No, wait, if that guy could cross the magic mirror with the hero, would he really flee at this point? Or was his goal the supplies from the start, so he took the chance to betray you, waiting for the right moment when the hero's party was desperate? Thinking this, Ed seems to have guessed the answer. This silences him. Meanwhile, Tia continues, I don't know, but things had come to this point. We could only push forward. But while we were locked in fierce battle with the demons, a massive swarm of monsters suddenly emerged from the magic mirror behind us. Caught between 2 forces, we quickly fell into a disadvantage. Total annihilation was just a matter of time. But actually, to avoid this worst-case scenario, a transfer crystal was hidden within Alexis's armor, right over the heart. No matter the cost, we had to ensure the hero's absolute survival. This was so the world wouldn't lose hope. As long as the hero lived, people would have the courage to keep fighting. So go. You're the hero chosen by the gods and the prince of a great nation, and the person we're determined to follow to the end. After making her final farewells, Tia planned to sacrifice herself to buy time for the hero to transfer. But at this critical moment, Alexis placed the crystal in her hand. I'm sorry, Tia. Abandoning my companions to save myself. A hero can't be so disgraceful, right? With these words, Alexis crushed the transfer crystal. In the next instant, Tia's vision was engulfed in an azure light. Though she struggled desperately to break free from the teleportation spell, it was futile. She could only watch helplessly as her teammates gradually disappeared from her sight. Tia still can't forget Alexis's expression and his words, live on. By this point, Tia is already in tears, while Ed stands there with a look of sorrow. At the very end, he cast aside his duty as a hero to choose dignity instead. To be so unapologetically and utterly wrong. It's just like you, isn't it? But Alexis, you're not the only one who couldn't abandon companions to survive. Ed can hardly imagine Tia carrying such a heavy burden. How much inner torment has she silently endured all by herself during these 10 years? After leaning on Ed for a while, Tia finally calms down. But after thanking Ed, she falls silent again. Watching Tia's lonely figure, Ed's heart feels mixed emotions. While he's thinking about how to comfort her, Tia slowly says, after that, I was transported to a secret room in Redoran City. When they discovered it wasn't the hero who transferred back, everyone immediately questioned me. What happened to the prince? Why are you here? Did you steal Lord Alexis's transfer crystal cancel and escape? While I was immersed in grief with my mind completely blank, a voice pulled me back to reality. Lunaria Tia, speak! What happened to my son? After that, I told them everything that happened. Upon hearing the news, the king was grief-stricken, yet he did not take it out on me. Instead, he told me to go live quietly in the border region under a new identity. The hero's party would be officially recorded as having perished after crossing the magic mirror. Hearing this, Ed immediately shows a surprised expression, but he quickly calms down. Given the situation at the time, this was indeed a proper decision. Between the world's future and his companions' lives, the hero chose the latter. That resolve is very much like him, but as a hero, it was utterly wrong and would be condemned by all. And the person he went to such lengths to save was just a companion who could be replaced. Choosing to respect his son's final wish, the king, while Ed is still reflecting on this, Tia continues, because of this, I couldn't participate in the 3 subsequent magic mirror expeditions. Hearing this, Ed can't help but repeat, expeditions? This makes Tia immediately look puzzled. You don't even know about these? Just how remote was the country you went to live in? To rescue Alexis, the Allied forces dispatched armies 3 times, even knowing the armies couldn't cross the magic mirror. Without the hero, everyone could only take desperate measures, and all 3 expeditions ended in failure. By the way, I never told anyone I lived here. How did you find this place, Ed? Hearing this, Ed can only nervously laugh it off. Actually, I recently got a magic tool for finding people, and I thought I'd check how everyone was doing, but after using it, I found that Alexis and Okasa showed no response, and then, but before he can finish, a weary voice reaches his ears. I see. So Alexis and the others really. Hearing this, Ed doesn't know what to say and can only apologize. Tia replies, it's okay. I suppose the weight I've been carrying can finally be lifted. It's time I accept the truth. Fighting against such a massive army's survival was impossible. Hearing this, Ed turns around, planning to comfort Tia, but unexpectedly she speaks first. All right, how is it? Cute, right? Tia has not only mended Ed's damaged coat, but also added flower decorations to it. Seeing this, Ed responds, indeed cute. But as soon as he speaks, the entire room suddenly begins shaking violently, but it stops quickly. To figure out the cause of the tremor, after telling Tia to stay inside and not come out, Ed rushes out of the treehouse alone. But when he gets outside, he's shocked to discover a massive monster has appeared outside the treehouse at some point. This makes Ed exclaim in surprise. Why is a lesser dragon here? Did it stray from the mountains? This is quite rare. At this time, Tia also follows out worriedly. Ed, why did you come out here alone? Ed replies, perfectly calm. What? It's just, but Tia cuts him off, her voice sharp. Get back inside quickly. It's fine. I'll handle that dragon. But as soon as she finishes, the lesser dragon seems angered by these words. It fires dragon's breath at them. In an instant, scorching flames surge toward them. Seeing this, Ed smirks. Don't worry. For me now, dealing with this beast is a piece of cake. But just as he's about to make his move, Tia suddenly grabs his collar and pulls him behind her. At the same time, the lesser dragon's breath hits their position directly, erupting with a thunderous roar that echoes to the heavens. But when the smoke clears, they're both unharmed. Seeing this, Ed murmurs, water wall. At this moment, Tia slowly says, I won't let anyone die anymore. Ed, I'll protect you. Ed also hears Tia's chanting. Winds of swift thought, blade of emerald moonlight, coalesce into radiance pure, 6 pairs of spirit wings from 3 directions descend, gather, intertwine, enchant, and whirl. By the name of Lunaria Tia, manifest. Triple blade frenzy. As the incantation ends, 3 incredibly sharp blades appear before Tia and effortlessly slice the lesser dragon into 3 parts. Such incredible power leaves Ed completely dumbfounded. This makes him immediately shout excitedly, wow, 1 hit and it's done. That's amazing, Tia. That sharpness is incredible. How strong have you become in these years since I left? Forget the dragon scales, even the bone cross sections are so clean. While he's rambling excitedly, Tia suddenly calls his name. Ed, please run away from here quickly. Only now does Ed notice Tia's expression seems off. Seeing this, he hurriedly turns around and asks, Tia, what's wrong? And through her palm, Ed discovers Tia's entire body is trembling and she's gasping weakly. Wait, what's with your hand? And why tell me to run? But the response is, I planned to look cool for you, but it seems I overdid it a bit. I'm fine now. Though she says this, Ed is still worried. You look completely exhausted no matter how I look at it. Tia quickly denies this. No, it's probably just because I haven't fought in so long. I showed off a bit in front of Ed. Hey, impressive, right? Hearing this, Ed can only give a speechless look. I really don't know what to say to you. Alright, I admit you're amazing. Just go get some rest. Alright, you're still the same as always, worrying so much. Seeing she can still joke around puts Ed's mind at ease. After all, Tia was once a member of the hero's party, so she should be fine. But what did she mean earlier when she told me to run? Whatever, I'll deal with this thing first. I could just toss it in the Wanderer's treasury, but it'll rot that way. Might as well butcher it. Just then, a loud thud comes from Tia's bedroom. Hearing this, Ed walks to the door and calls out Tia's name. Seeing no response from her, thinking she didn't hear him, he walks beneath the bedroom and calls out to Tia again. However, there's still no response from above. This instantly gives Ed a bad feeling. After saying I'm coming up, Ed carefully climbs the stairs. However, when he reaches the bedroom above, he's shocked to discover that Tia has collapsed on the floor. Seeing this, Ed rushes forward and asks Tia what happened and why she suddenly collapsed. But at this moment, Tia is so weak she can barely speak. To figure it out, Ed carefully turns her over. The next second, he stares blankly and murmurs, "What is this?" Tia's once porcelain white skin is covered with black spots, and these spots are spreading from her heart throughout her entire body. From her neck to her wrists, from her waist to her feet. They look like death marks. Just as he's at a loss about this, Tia's weak voice reaches his ears. Clothes. Hearing this, Ed notices a nightgown she was wearing earlier not far from Tia. After putting it on her, Ed carries Tia to the bed. How are you feeling? Feeling a bit better now. Thank you, Ed. I didn't mean to hide it. When I was fighting alongside Alexis and the others, to make sure everyone could return alive, I used the Elven secret art. It's a secret art that mixes magic with one's own life force, explosively boosting the power of Elven spells. Hearing this, Ed immediately repeats with a worried expression, mixing life force into magic power, doesn't that mean? Yes, the price for it is my lifespan. Hearing this, Ed can no longer sit still. Lifespan? But you were so energetic just now. Why did you suddenly? Halfway through his sentence, Ed figures out the answer. Seeming to know he's about to criticize her, Tia quietly pulls the blanket over herself like a child who made a mistake. Sure enough, the very next second, Ed exclaims, "You consumed your lifespan even against a lesser dragon? A monster of that level?" Hearing this, Tia says softly from under the blanket, "Yeah, I used it. I thought if I couldn't defeat it in one strike, Ed would be in danger. It's okay, don't worry about me. It's fine now." Tia's words leave Ed very confused. Me, in danger against such a weak monster as a lesser dragon? Why? Right, in Tia's memory, I indeed didn't have that strength. Seeing Ed suddenly fall silent, Tia, afraid he's angry, hastily says, "I had already almost exhausted the magic power needed to stay alive. Normally, I rely on this outfit to prevent magic power from leaking. Wearing them, I can obtain magic power the treehouse has collected, barely clinging to life until now, but I just changed out of the clothes and used that magic, so my lifespan seems to have reached its end." As soon as she finishes, Ed says angrily, "If you knew it was something keeping you alive, why did you take it off?" Hearing this, Tia gives a bitter smile. "Because I was so happy to see Ed that I wanted to dress like I used to return to those warm and joyful times, but it seems I messed up again. After taking off the clothes, the leaked magic power from the treehouse must have been detected by the magic beasts, so that dragon appeared because of that. I see, in the end, everything was caused by me. I'm such a jinx. Just because I gained some power, I thought I was so capable, and it ended up like this. I came all this way to this place, just to confirm that Tia was safe, but instead noticing Ed's emotions becoming downcast, Tia comforts him, saying, "Don't make that face. Although as an elf I didn't live long enough, but I fought hard to live far longer than most, and I met wonderful companions, and in the end, I got to see Ed again. I'm already very satisfied." Don't say such things. We just reunited. This is only the beginning. However, as soon as he finishes speaking, Ed notices something unusual outside the treehouse. Damn pests, did they follow the scent here? At this moment, Tia seems to sense something too and urgently tells Ed, "You should run!" However, the response she gets is, "I refuse." Desperate, Tia tries to reason with him, but Ed speaks before she can utter a word. "Tia, on the surface, I may indeed look no different from back then. My appearance really hasn't changed at all. Thanks to the time reversal, my body's still the same scrawny mess it was 10 years ago. But since we parted ways, I've been doing things my own way, working hard and gaining all kinds of experience along the way. I've crossed 100 years, traveled through 100 different worlds, constantly experiencing adventures you can't imagine, meeting people, saying goodbye. My whole being is different from back then. I'm strong now. So, Tia, this time let me protect you." With these words, Ed walks out of the treehouse alone. He looks down at the countless magic beasts surrounding them. Tia's weak voice reaches his ears again. "No, Ed, there's no need to throw your life away for me. Please run." Hearing this, Ed turns back with a smile. "It's fine. I won't let Tia be alone again. I promise." Even in such a desperate situation, Tia still wants to protect me even now. What have I been doing all this time? Even if I wipe out all these magic beasts, my companions' lives and Tia's lifespan can never come back. I understand this, even though I understand, even so, but this kind of ending, how could I possibly accept it? Whether it's a miracle or whatever, if I could go back to that time with who I am now? As Ed's rage continues, the area outside the treehouse becomes a sea of carnage. The large number of high-level magic beasts that gathered are completely annihilated in an instant, leaving Tia stunned. At this moment, Ed seems to suddenly think of something. Wait, that's not right. A miracle? Now that I think about it, the final reward I obtained in the divine realm, using that exiled skill that can only be used once, perhaps I can exchange it for a miracle and rewrite this tragic ending. Did Tia specifically call me to your room for something? However, as soon as he finishes speaking, Ed is shocked to discover that Tia is changing clothes at this moment. After their eyes meet, a scream immediately rings out from the room. Just like that, Ed is unsurprisingly treated as a peeping Tom and interrogated. "I'm so disappointed in you. I never thought Ed would do such a thing. I'm sorry, but I can no longer travel with you." Watching Ed's dejected back, Alexis then asks Tia, "Is this really okay? Going through so much trouble just to drive away dead weight?" However, the response he gets is, "This is perfect. If I don't go this far, Ed will definitely keep following us. With the final battle against the demon army approaching, I no longer have the ability to continue protecting him. Doing this will definitely make him hate me. Even knowing that, I still hope that Ed will survive and see a peaceful world." As the memory ends, a familiar voice reaches Tia's ears. "All done. See, I protected you, Tia. Ed, you're actually actually this strong? However, the reply she gets is, not bad. After being kicked out of the hero's party, I did some retraining. Hearing this, Tia responds, I see. After hesitating for a moment, Tia calls out Ed's name with a heavy heart. Perhaps you have a way to take me to the other side of the magic mirror? If possible. If you think it's not possible, that's completely fine too. Noticing Tia's anxiety, Ed responds right away. What are you talking about? Such a small matter? Don't worry, leave it to me. Even if it's the end of the world, as long as you want to go there, I can easily take you. At this point, Ed won't ask what's there, because even without asking, he already knows. Right now, there's only one thing he wants to do, and that's to fulfill Tia's wish. With this goal in mind, Ed also carries the weak Tia on his back toward the demon realm. Although reaching there requires passing through the incredibly dangerous magic mirror, nothing ahead can stop Ed at this moment. After traveling for some time, the two step into the demon lord's domain. Seeing this, Ed immediately asks Tia, is this far enough? The response he gets is, yes, put me down. Alexis used a transfer crystal on me right here. I never thought I could come back here. This is all thanks to you, Ed. Thank you. Alexis, Okasa, can you see? It's Ed. Ed brought me here. Ed has become incredibly strong. He even crossed the magic mirror that gave us so much trouble in just one night. Ed right now might even be stronger than you, hero Alexis. Ed, do you remember when we expelled you from the party? After receiving confirmation, Tia lowers her head and says, I've been thinking all this time. Back then, I truly didn't want the weak Ed to die, but the truth is I was just too cowardly and couldn't trust Ed. That's exactly it. The ED I thought needed protection became strong enough to protect me. If I hadn't meddled and driven Ed away, maybe everyone could have seen it together. The era of peace after defeating the demon lord, seeing such a sight together. Ed wants to tell her not to worry so much, but Tia calls out his name first. Ed, thank you for bringing me here. I wish I could help you fulfill your wish too. Don't worry about it. My wish is about to be fulfilled. Tia grasps Ed's hand and says softly, Ed, do you have any wishes for the future? After thinking for a moment, Ed also reveals a long-held wish of his. Let's see. I'd really like to head home for the first time in ages. Really? I'd like to see your home too, Ed. Then come. My mom would definitely welcome you. Really? Definitely. Oh, right. I'll need to buy some local specialties to bring back. Get a bow for dad, some nice clothes for mom. Gotta pick good ones. But once word gets out that I've returned in glory, I'm sure some fools will try to claim connections. I'll introduce you to them too, Tia. And yeah, with exiled skills, I can basically do anything. Defeat magic beasts, then become a noble with those achievements. That way, someday I can become the lord of a city or even a country. So, at this point, Ed stops, because he knows Tia has already left him. This was their reunion after 100 years apart. There were still so many things he wanted to say to her. He still wanted to see that happy smile of hers again. But now it has all vanished like a bubble that can never be realized. Why is this the ending? Those dreams that once shone with golden brilliance now faded in Ed's eyes. There's only one thing he truly wants now. This was all part of your calculations too, wasn't it? Toying with me for 100 years. So this ending was specially arranged for me too, wasn't it? That's why you damn well gave me this skill, isn't it? You win this time. I'll do as you wish. I'll keep dancing in the palm of your hand. So you must grant my wish too. Whether it's the past or the future, take everything from me. The final exiled skill. The one-time right to make a request. With these words, a dazzling radiance shines from Ed's body, as if carrying his wish to the divine. It pierces the sky and reaches the heavens. Soon this light transforms into countless stars, turning the pitch-black night into daylight. Even if he bets everything he has, Ed will reclaim that smile at all costs. At the same time, a young man slowly opens his eyes and says in surprise, where is this? Chairs and a table. Is this indoors? No, that's not right. Everything else I see is completely white. Am I dreaming? No way. This isn't a dream. What is this place? Why am I here? Was I kidnapped while I was asleep? Or have I already died? Wait a minute. Calm down first and organize the information. Today's task was to drive away the beasts destroying the fields. After completing it, I went to eat. In the afternoon, I went to the nearby forest to destroy its nest. And after that, there's nothing. Speaking of which, what is this thing? A door? However, just as the young man is puzzled by this, a dull thud suddenly comes from behind him. This nearly scares him to death. What the hell is it this time? A white book? After hesitating for a moment, the young man picks up the book and starts reading. I see, so I've been exiled from my original world. If I want to return, I have to go to the 100 different worlds connected to this place. Join heroes' parties, then get expelled by every single party before coming back here. So that's how it is. What is this nonsense? Even a complete idiot wouldn't fall for this. Besides, why is the condition to get expelled? And I have to team up with heroes? Who am I to deserve that? A mere odd-job mercenary hanging out with them as equals? As soon as he finishes speaking, the young man is shocked to discover that the crystal ball on the table begins to emit a dazzling light. Is this it? Just touch it and gain a convenient ability? That's what the book says, but no matter how I look at it, this seems very suspicious. I just want to go home. Whatever, there's no other option right now. Might as well try anything at this point. I'll touch it, okay? However, when the young man places his hand on the crystal ball, he feels something entering his mind. I see. It's called Inevitable Accident, an ability to encounter heroes. I have to say, this ability is pretty useful. With just this, however, at this moment, unknown memories suddenly surface in the young man's mind. This leaves him very confused. Who was that just now? No, wait, it feels like I've seen them somewhere before. However, as soon as he finishes speaking, the crystal ball on the table emits dazzling light once again and reconnects with the young man. Along with it comes a massive amount of information that floods directly into the young man's mind, like a torrent. Is this memory, or is it a record? Whose is it? Wait, could this be mine? Being expelled by people I've never seen in worlds I've never been to. Memories of 10, 20, 40, 80 worlds. I can't make it stop. If this continues, my head is going to explode. The memories and power will overflow and burst me apart. However, just as the young man is about to reach his limit, a voice appears in his mind. Don't give up. This way, even the past can be changed. At this moment, another voice surfaces in the young man's mind, one both unfamiliar yet nostalgic. Ed, do you have any wishes for the future? My wish? Looks like it's already halfway realized. I won the bet. This time I finally gained the advantage. Using the one-time right to request, I obtained the 101st ability that shouldn't have existed, the strongest exiled skill that can even deceive the divine blessing of the second cycle, packaging all the memories and abilities I obtained in the future and transferring them to myself who just arrived in the divine realm. This skill can no longer be used. Because there is no second time, that's why it triggered a miracle. But once is enough. I can definitely pull this off now, cutting through everything, with unmatched power, getting expelled in every single world according to plan. Tia, in my future. This time, I'll turn that damn tragic ending into a future where everyone can drink joyfully together in a peaceful world. Let's begin this joyful journey of the second cycle. At this moment, in a certain tavern within the fortress city, a warrior shouts excitedly, "What do you mean I can't become a companion? You should know very well that with my strength, I'm enough to be a fighting force." However, the response he gets is, "I can hear you, so could you keep it down a bit? Unfortunately, I must be blunt. With your level of strength, joining us would be completely meaningless. However, if you're willing to use that sturdy body of yours as a porter, I could consider it." The dispute between the two immediately attracts the attention of those around them. At this moment, they're shocked to discover that the speaker is none other than hero Alexis. The earlier person was applying to join the hero's party. This should be the third applicant, right? However, just as everyone is chattering about this, suddenly, an unassuming man among the crowd gazes at the hero with eyes like fire. That sharp look immediately triggers the hero's instincts. This causes Alexis to immediately look behind him, but he doesn't find any suspicious person. Just as Alexis thinks he's overthinking, a strange voice suddenly reaches his ears. "Greetings, Lord Hero! Your world-class porter has arrived. Or would you prefer the services of the realm's strongest swordsman?" Only now does Alexis realize to his shock that someone has appeared before him out of nowhere. He immediately demands to know the stranger's identity. Meanwhile, the tavern is buzzing with chatter about this fourth applicant. Based on his appearance, he is clearly not a local, nor is he a renowned adventurer. At the thought of this, the crowd can't help but feel a twinge of pity for the hero. Ed pays no mind to the idle gossip. He has already achieved his goal. He has successfully piqued the hero's interest. Ed speaks up. "Nice to meet you, Lord Hero. My name is Ed. Currently, I'm just an insignificant traveling adventurer. In the first cycle, Ed ran into hero Alexis in town and begged pathetically like a stray dog to join the party. Only thanks to Tia and the others vouching for him did he barely scrape by as a porter. But now that he sees the full picture, repeating the same mistake is certainly not his best move. After all, being just a porter, he wouldn't even have the right to comment on their travel destination. While Ed is lost in thought, Alexis suddenly speaks up. "You plan to fight while lugging that massive pack? You're quite good at talking big." However, before he can finish, Ed speaks first. "Of course. What would you think if I said something like, 'Even while carrying this thing, I could defeat you, hero'?" Ed feels that completely deviating from the first cycle would be too risky, so to stay on track while gaining more influence, he came up with the idea of also being a swordsman. To achieve this, first, he must earn Alexis's recognition of his strength, and at this moment, Alexis has clearly taken the bait. "Fine, as long as you don't drop that, I'll agree to your request." Seeing that the hero has fallen for it, Ed replies with a smug look, "I'll let you have the first move. Come at me anytime." However, at the very moment he speaks, an afterimage appears right in front of him. Seeing this, Ed immediately draws his sword, and at the critical moment blocks Alexis's attack. Seeing this, Ed taunts him. "Whoa, that was close. Such a pity." Hearing this, Alexis snorts coldly. "It seems you have enough skill to back up that big mouth of yours. But tell me, do you know that cold steak?" Before he can even finish, Ed cuts him off. "Tastes bad, right? That's why I suggest you surrender now. How about giving up while you still can?" With these words, the two engage in fierce battle once again. Ed knows full well that Alexis can never surrender. No matter the circumstances, he must prove his superiority with absolute strength in every duel. Such is the mission bestowed upon a hero. The reason a hero must be strong is because people need to witness this power with their own eyes to rekindle hope. One who possesses such power must be able to defeat the demon lord. So to join this hero's party, besides having top-tier strength, one must also display hope before everyone's eyes. In this way, even if Alexis is unwilling, he'll have no choice but to acknowledge that I'm not just a porter, but an equal companion worthy of watching his back. Thinking this, Ed continues to provoke. "Hero, shouldn't you start getting serious? The steak is gradually getting cold. Time to get fired up, don't you think?" Alexis responds coldly, "Fine. I admit you do seem to have some skill." With these words, Alexis also draws the sword at his waist and assumes an attacking stance. Seeing this, Ed's expression immediately becomes serious. The next second, Alexis's figure transforms into an afterimage, and Ed immediately makes the same move. With a bang, their weapons begin clashing at lightning speed. Although this is somewhat beyond Alexis's expectations, he immediately adjusts his mindset and speeds up his attacks even more, but still cannot harm his opponent in the slightest. At this moment, Ed continues to provoke. "Heh, your prize sword was blocked by me. Surprised, aren't you?" It can't be only this much, right? A hero's full strength can't possibly be only this level, right? Alexis's expression darkens and he answers, of course. With these words, Alexis also switches his stance and grips his sword with both hands. The next second, an incredibly fierce slash strikes Ed's sword. This time, both the force and power are several levels higher than before. Ed can't help but complain inwardly, truly worthy of being a hero. Absurdly strong, thanks to him, the cheap iron sword I bought during my mercenary days is almost at its limit. It probably won't last much longer. However, as soon as this thought crosses his mind, Ed discovers something embarrassing. The meat on his plate has fallen off. Just as this starts to feel bad, suddenly a dazzling light shines from below. That stance. Could it be? At this moment, Alexis speaks. Since you want to see it so badly, then let me show you. This is the hero's true slash. With these words, Alexis unleashes his strongest skill, Moonlight Sword. Seeing hero Alexis actually unleash his ultimate skill, Ed thinks to himself, although I could easily block this with Impregnable Wall, that won't do. If I want to be recognized by the hero as a true companion, then I must surpass this guy using nothing but my swordsmanship forged over 100 years. Seeing that Ed actually plans to face the Moonlight Sword head on, Alexis extends his left hand. Although Ed notices this, he doesn't pay attention to it, but instead focuses on dealing with the crisis before him, integrating the blade's flow into the trajectory of his slash. Move aside. With these words, Ed exerts force suddenly and forcibly changes the Moonlight Sword's attack trajectory. Seeing that his opponent actually deflected his attack, Alexis can't help but let out a sound of surprise. Unlike his expression, Ed returns to the ground and looks at the broken sword in his hand with emotion. Finally done. However, as soon as he finishes speaking, deafening cheers immediately erupt around them. That guy is really amazing. So cool. This is the first time I've seen someone who can match Lord Hero. Lord Hero is great and all, but that other guy is also pretty charming. Oh, so you like that type? Anyway, I still don't even know that handsome guy's name. It's Ed. That's what he called himself just now. Even a commoner like me can tell that guy is definitely a remarkable once-in-a-generation talent. I'm truly excited to see who he becomes in the future. Hearing this, the two had initially assumed the speaker is some legendary master, but after seeing clearly, they discover it's just the town's scrap collector. Just as he wants to continue talking, the crowd erupts again. Lord Alexis is heading this way. Ed immediately calls him out. Have you lost your mind? If it weren't me but someone else, they would be dead already. The response he gets is, you think I didn't account for that? Just as Ed wants to continue complaining, suddenly an incredibly hearty voice comes from behind him. Ha ha ha, that's right, kid. If it were the hero's full power strike, that would be a different story, but a probing attack of that level couldn't even hurt my muscles. Seeing this, Ed unconsciously shouts, Uncle Okasa, but after blurting it out, he immediately catches himself and corrects to Lord Monk, Okasa. The other doesn't seem to notice and continues, don't be fooled by how he acts. Actually, Alexis has already sized you up and is prepared to pull his punches. Besides, I would step in immediately to protect you if things get truly dangerous. At this moment, the slow-to-react Okasa finally catches on and asks Ed, wait, you even know about my background? Hearing this, Ed replies with a sheepish look, of course. After all, you are famous for being the world's strongest martial artist and healer. Okasa immediately declares, that's right, my muscles are the strongest. Ed can't help but snark. How utterly ridiculous is it to have a healer serving as the vanguard? But while the two are fooling around, a voice reaches Ed's ears. Hey, what are you two doing? You've been gone forever. Alexis, what are you doing here? The reply comes as usual, just letting those ignorant fools experience a taste of my power. You call that a taste? You even use that technique. And Okasa, why don't you stop him? At this, Okasa shows zero remorse, shrugging. What's the big deal? It's just a trifle. At this moment, Ed slowly turns his head around. Even though this is the first time hearing it, this voice pierces his heart with pain, yet fills him with overwhelming nostalgia. I remember everything. Her voice, her face, her name, everything about her. While Ed is still dazed by this, a familiar voice reaches his ears. Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm Lunari Tia, an elf and a spirit user. I'm currently traveling with hero Alexis and Okasa. Hearing this, Ed snaps back to reality and introduces himself. Hello, I'm Ed. I'm a swordsman and also a porter. However, when Tia calls out his name again, the joy of reunion makes tears flow uncontrollably from Ed's eyes. I really wanted to see this smile again. This sudden scene catches all three completely off guard, with Tia taking it the hardest. Wait, Ed, why are you crying? Did I do something wrong? Or Alexis, what exactly did you do? The reply comes, can you stop being unreasonable, Tia? I didn't do anything special at all. If I had to say, perhaps my very existence is special. Hearing this, Tia can't help but retort, there you go again, saying things nobody understands. At this moment, Ed comes to his senses and hurriedly explains, it's not like that. I was just so moved that you all, the famous heroes party, called me by my name. I got a little carried away and teared up. Hearing this, Tia replies with a guilty expression. So you mean, it really is my fault? I'm sorry, how can I make it up to you? The reply comes, well, if it's okay, could you call my name one more time? This surprises Tia. Call your name again? That's no problem. Tia calls out Ed's name once more. To her surprise, after hearing this, the young man before her wears a blissful smile. This makes her let out a laugh as she teases, "Ed, you really are an interesting person. Just having your name called makes you this happy." While the two are talking, the silent Alexis suddenly speaks up. "It's perfectly understandable if you want to cry. Look at this. If the pack you're meant to protect is in this state, you have no place as our companion." Following the direction of Alexis's finger, Ed discovers in dismay his stake has somehow been split in two, meaning his entrance exam has failed. Hearing this, Tia immediately questions Alexis anxiously. "You're not going to let Ed join the party? He's so strong that even you have to get serious." Hearing this, Alexis replies with a sheepish look, "Who's getting serious?" To that she fires back, "I wonder who just busted out their ultimate move." The moment she says this, everyone around chimes in agreement. To this, Alexis snorts coldly. "Then let me ask you, why are you so insistent on bringing him into our party? You should know very well we have enough combat personnel." The reply comes, "I just feel somehow that partnering with him would work really well." To this, Alexis responds with an exasperated expression, "If it's you, you'd probably feel that way about anyone." Hearing this, Tia immediately huffs, "You're being mean." She then asks Okasa beside her for his opinion, but the reply is, "I feel like either choice is fine." Hearing this, Tia immediately responds happily. Then, but before she can finish her sentence, Okasa interjects, "But combat ability aside, if he has to handle porter duties on top of that, it'll probably be too much. But if we're hiring him mainly as a porter, I can see where Alexis is coming from, even if it's hard to swallow." The moment he stops speaking, Ed looks resentful. "Damn it, I was hoping to learn more about the beauty of muscles from Lord Okasa." Hearing this, Okasa instantly loses his cool and immediately sides with Tia. "I'll be the one to look after this kid." At the sight of this, Alexis can only retort with an exasperated look, "This muscle-brained idiot, whatever. To be honest, your swordsmanship is quite impressive, but calling yourself the strongest in front of me is a bit too arrogant. While we don't lack combat power, we have indeed been looking for a porter. So, as long as you do this job well, I don't mind you taking on other work at the same time. Therefore, the next step is an additional test. Use this money to buy whatever supplies you think are necessary. If you're truly the best porter, prove it with your ability." Looking at the gleaming coins in his hand, Ed can't help but recall events from the first cycle. What to buy with that money and how to transport it? Let me see what you're capable of. Hearing this, Ed immediately replies respectfully, "Don't worry, leave it to me. I'll do my best." After seeing the three off, Ed slowly opens his clenched palm and mutters, 10 silver coins? At this very moment, Ed is surprised to find that Alexis has actually given him a gold coin. This leaves him in wonder. He had expected even less than the 10 silver coins from the first cycle. To his surprise, it's actually more. Does this mean I'm more trusted than in the first cycle? With a budget this big, I can buy quite a lot. Oh right, speaking of differences between the second and first cycles, there's one more thing. I originally thought I was quite familiar with this area, but did this town have places like this before? And why is Tia following me? Thinking this, Ed speaks up, Miss Tia, did you need something from me?" The reply comes with a displeased sound, "Oh my, you were calling me by name just earlier. Why the sudden change to Miss Tia?" Hearing this, Ed replies with an awkward look, "Well, Miss Tia is a senior after all." Ignoring his words, Tia simply repeats herself, "It's just Tia, right?" Hearing this, Ed hurriedly nods repeatedly in alarm. "So Tia, why are you with me?" The reply comes, "Because I'm curious. I want to know what Ed is going to do, and if you keep using formal speech, I'm going to get angry." Hearing this, Ed teases her, "Following a man you just met for a reason like that, don't you think you're being too reckless?" All he gets in response is a chuckle. It's true that Ed has powerful abilities that can match Alexis, but don't let my appearance fool you. I'm actually quite strong, and for some reason, I just feel that Ed is a good person. This statement surprises Ed greatly. What? While Tia is indeed sociable and easygoing, they seem far too close for two people meeting for the first time. This situation definitely didn't happen in the first cycle. Why is this happening? Wait, could it be that Tia also retained her memories? Meanwhile, at the tavern on the other side, Okasa speaks with a serious expression. "Hey, Alexis, is it really okay to let Tia go with him?" The reply comes, "I don't think that kid will be any trouble. Besides, Tia wants to go herself. Trying to stop her is pointless. I mean, even if I said something, she wouldn't listen anyway. That's just how she is. A typical free-spirited elf. By the way, what do you think of this?" Okasa studies it for a moment, then says with a teasing grin, "Your craftsmanship is quite impressive." Meanwhile, the shopkeeper approaches tremblingly and says in a rush, "Great hero, I shall take full responsibility for all repairs. You have nothing to worry about." Hearing this, Alexis responds with a displeased expression, "Are you saying you don't trust my repair skills?" No, that's not what I mean. Don't worry about it. This is my own decision. I take responsibility for my own actions, that's all. Still, for a first attempt, this is quite good. I really am a special existence. Even my taste is that unique. Let's go, Okasa. I'm still bothered by this after all. Meanwhile, in the alley on the other side, "Are you curious?" "Yes. Why go this far for someone you just met? You seem a bit too kind to me." Hearing this, Tia lowers her head and murmurs, "If you ask why, yes, why indeed." After pondering for a moment, Tia replies softly, "We elves live much longer than humans. Don't let my appearance fool you. I've actually lived for over 100 years. These 100 years of changes have made me experience many things and inevitably forget many others. But you know, there are some memories we never want to forget, no matter what. Memories like these, we elves engrave into our souls. But when that attachment is too strong, even through death and rebirth, it remains eternally branded upon the soul like a scar. So sometimes Sometimes we feel inexplicably nostalgic about sights we see for the first time or people we meet for the first time. When I saw Ed's face just now, I couldn't help but think of this story. Memories engraved in the soul that already exist. Is that what deja vu is? But this isn't just an elven thing, is it? Ed turns his head and asks, Tia, do you believe this? The reply comes, more than believing. If it's true, then maybe before we became who we are now, we met somewhere and we're already close friends. Hearing this, Ed shows a faint smile and replies, I see. In that case, I'm going to hold nothing back and get really close to Tia. Hearing this, Tia can't help but laugh. All right then, bring it on. Do humans truly possess something called a soul? Does it continue through reincarnation? This remains unknowable. Yet, at this very moment, Ed stands as a being who has inherited memories and abilities from a past known as the future. So perhaps it's because another version of himself branded it upon his soul, that these memories could transcend time and awaken from that void. The scene before them leaves Ed and Tia stunned, even making them wonder if they came to the wrong place. After confirming multiple times, Ed can't help but ask in amazement, what is this? The roof? Wasn't it destroyed by the moonlight blade? Just then, a familiar voice reaches his ears. Because I was curious, I tried fixing it. It was simpler than I imagined. I really am special. Even my taste is so special. So, how about your end? Tia immediately says excitedly. Listen, Alexis, Ed is really amazing. The reply comes, oh really? But it doesn't look like he's carrying any supplies. The moment he says this, Ed pulls out a massive pile of supply packs from his bag. This move leaves both the hero and Okasa completely stunned. What are these? Hearing this, Ed replies calmly. First, the food supplies. Food that can be preserved for 3 months, enough for 10 days. And food that can be preserved for 1 year, also enough for 10 days. Tia told me you aren't leaving right away, so I've just stuck to preserved foods for now. The moment he says this, Okasa shouts excitedly, wait. More importantly, what on earth is this bag? How can it hold so much? Ed again replies calmly, you mean this? It's a magic tool I found in some ruins. It can hold much more than it appears. I don't really know how it works though. It seems only I, who found it first, can use it. If someone else holds it, it becomes just an ordinary bag. Of course, everything I just said was a complete lie. After all, if I want to eventually get exiled from the hero's party, it's easier to pass off tools than abilities. The actual mechanism is my exiled skill. Wanderer's treasury. I just open a portal inside the bag. This way, I can disguise the bag as a magic tool. Ha ha ha, even the hero can't see through it. However, while Ed is feeling smug about this, Alexis suddenly asks, by the way, how much can this bag actually hold? Hearing this, Ed put on an act of thinking. I'd say it's more than enough to hold the contents of 2 or 3 warehouses, though I've lost track of the exact capacity. Of course, this is also a lie. The Wanderer's treasury's actual capacity could probably hold an entire world. At this moment, Tia steps forward and says proudly, if it can hold that much, it's enough for a year's worth of adventure supplies. How about that? Ed is amazing, right? Alexis replies with an exasperated look. By the way, why are you the one being proud? At this moment, Ed walks over and takes back the backpack. Now, next is this. This is a magic tool that can generate unlimited water. Ed originally thought the hero and Okasa would show the same expressions as before, but unexpectedly, after looking at it, Alexis simply says, I won't question for now how something clearly larger than the bag's opening came out. Tia, did you tell him about that matter? To this, Tia replied with a look of pure innocence, of course. I explained it all to him properly. Hearing this, Alexis says with slight disappointment, then you should know that our party's drinking water is all created by Tia using elven magic, right? Since you've heard this, why specifically prepare this? At this moment, Tia chimes in, who knows? And that dumb thing actually cost 50 silver coins. This statement surprises Alexis. You mean 50 silver coins? The reply comes, you also think it's too expensive? But Ed insisted on buying it no matter what. I couldn't stop him, Alexis says with a serious expression. No, this is way too cheap. A magic tool of that level should be worth at least 5 gold coins. Anyway, let's ask for the reason. Hearing this, Ed immediately replies, well, with this, we can generate drinking water anywhere, in any situation. Of course, relying on magic to secure a water source is both convenient and simple, but it all hinges on the premise that Tia stays out of trouble. What if the worst were to happen? For instance, what if Tia gets injured or falls ill, to the point where she doesn't even have the strength left to cast magic? Hearing this, Alexis and Okasa instantly realize how serious the situation is. Indeed, this is possible. Over-relying on one person does pose high risks. Because Tia is so convenient, we let our guard down without realizing it. What do you mean too convenient? Alexis ignores Tia's complaint and slowly stands up. Alright, I admit you're quite capable. How about it? Ed is amazing, right? So why are you the one being proud again? As promised, welcome to the hero's party. After hearing that Alexis has agreed to Ed joining the party, Okasa immediately sets his sights on Ed. That bag can even carry diamond fragments for training. Don't worry, I'll get you the strongest muscles. While the two are bickering, off to the side, Alexis spots something among Ed's supplies. He speaks up. You bought a sword too? To be honest, I thought you'd spend most of the budget on a sword. It doesn't match your skill level. You got yourself a pretty cheap blade. Did you settle? The reply comes, of course not. This is just temporary until we reach the next city. This statement puzzles Alexis. The next city? Hearing this, Ed immediately replies, yes, actually I have a proposal. We can practice for the expedition and work on our combat coordination. Plus I heard we can get something really amazing there. Seeing that Alexis has become interested, Ed shows a mischievous smile. After all, this is a rare second cycle. Getting that item 6 months ahead of the world shouldn't be too much, right? And so, after Ed's persuasive pitch, the hero's party heads to the next city. So many chimneys. Are those all all forges? It looks like there would be amazing weapons there. As soon as the words leave his mouth, Alexis retorts, how could there be? After all, this is a silver mine. Therefore, the items made here are mainly silver tableware. This puzzles Tia. Ed clearly said we could get something really special here. Wait, could it be legendary tableware that can make any food delicious? The reply comes, what's that? Sounds amazing. And so, after passing through the forging district, everyone finally arrives at the Silver Inn. Once they're settled in, Alexis begins to question Ed. So, please explain this so-called plan of yours. Hearing this, Ed immediately replies, this information comes from a reliable source. It seems rockworms inhabit this silver mine. At these words, all three show surprised expressions and say in unison, rockworms? Yes, rockworms feed on minerals. After they gnaw through, they leave massive gaps that will cause large-scale collapse accidents. Speaking of this, Ed can't help but recall the first cycle. 3 months from now, a massive collapse occurred here for this exact reason, leading to many deaths. The entire town was plunged into tremendous grief. That's why Ed came here ahead of time. After all, in 3 more months, it would be too late. And solving this incident not only prevents the tragedy, but also gets us a treasure. While Ed is thinking about this, Alexis suddenly speaks. If this is true, then the situation is extremely serious. But why didn't you report this to the kingdom? If the situation is truly as you say, the knights should have been dispatched already. Hearing this, Ed replies with a bitter smile, even though I'm quite certain I don't have solid evidence. Also, rockworms that feed on silver. I want us to personally handle this with our own hands. This statement puzzles Tia and Okasa. While they're still confused about this, Alexis suddenly understands Ed's true purpose for this trip. Wait, the treasure you mentioned? Could it be mithril? Hearing this, Ed immediately shows a mischievous grin. This makes Tia even more confused. Hey Okasa, what's the relationship between rockworms and mithril? The reply comes, I don't know either. Why don't you just ask them? To this, Tia says, interrupting a serious conversation is a bit. Hearing this, Alexis says with an exasperated look, you don't know what mithril is? Tia immediately responds, of course I know. It has very high magic conductivity and can hold a lot of magic. It's a rare metal, right? Like excellent magic tools or weapons with enchantments, most are made of mithril. It's shiny and very beautiful. Tia's explanation leaves Alexis even more speechless. So you really don't know. Ed, you explain. Hearing this, Ed can only laugh awkwardly before speaking. Tia, it's not like that. Honestly, mithril is just silver that's been exposed to intense magic for a long time, transforming its properties. Hearing this, Tia immediately says, I get it. This mine is full of magic. The reply comes, unfortunately, that has nothing to do with rockworms. Then the magic from nearby rockworms transferred here. You're half right. Let me give you a hint. What do rockworms eat? Ore, right? And what ore is here? Silver. So what's the source of magic that transforms the silver? Rockworms. And for silver to transform, it needs continuous exposure to a powerful magic environment. The best place that satisfies these conditions is inside a rockworm's stomach. In other words, what we call mithril is actually the undigested feces of rockworms. These words make Tia's brain freeze completely. At this moment, Alexis questions Ed again. I understand your plan is to obtain mithril by subjugating rockworms, but how will we use it? Hearing this, Ed shows another mischievous grin. Naturally, I'll give it to the hero's party. I'll use the mithril to forge the strongest weapons for you all. Are we going to fight with weapons made from poop from now on? This should be the busiest time of the miners' day, yet they're walking out of the mine intending to go home. Seeing this, the mine manager angrily curses. Who said you could leave? Get back into the mines and get to work now. The reply comes, didn't the hero issue a notice? Don't you know? The mine is off limits all day today. We'll pay wages for this time, so please leave immediately. At this sight, the mine owner deflates and grumbles, seriously, what is it they plan to do in there? Meanwhile, are there really rockworms in this cave? But come to think of it, it's quite quiet here. Regarding this, Alexis remarks that if the Ed's words are true, it is likely to be a while before they begin their feeding frenzy. At this moment, Ed notices Tia hasn't been speaking. Hey Tia, are you still upset? Hearing this, Tia responds while pouting, normal mithril is properly mined from mountains. Why did you have to say it like that? Sorry, I just thought it would be more interesting to say it that way. You're being mean. Can't we just buy it the normal way? It's definitely better than poop. Regarding this, Ed states that while buying mithril is indeed possible if they are willing to pay a hefty price, but taking it directly from rockworms is another matter entirely. This statement puzzles Tia. Alexis explains. Silver refined by the rockworm's powerful stomach acid has no impurities and is in an extremely pure state. This is what's called pure mithril born from transformation. Indeed, if we use that pure mithril, we can forge extremely excellent weapons. Hearing this, Tia asks with a tearful tone, then Alexis will use it too, right? The reply comes, what are you talking about? Don't I have this holy sword? This statement really gets to Tia and she cries out, that's cheating! At this moment, Alexis asks Ed, is this the right direction? To this, Ed confirms, no problem at all. After all, this is the path guided by his exiled skill, Akashic's compass. Hearing this, Okasa says enviously, a magic tool that can even detect monster lairs. That's incredibly handy. Too bad only you can use it. At this, Ed quickly replies with a sheepish look, I found this along with the magic bag. Tia is very curious and asks Ed, where did you find such amazing things? Which ruins? The reply comes, it's a secret. With these words, Ed also stops walking and speaks. It's here. This greatly puzzles Tia. You mean here? But this is a dead end. Could it be there are rockworms behind this wall? I see. So we just need to dig our way to the prey. Now is the time for my muscles to shine. Hearing this, Ed immediately says, please postpone that debut indefinitely. Also, there's no need to dig. Alright, just watch. This statement makes Tia confused again. What's he going to do? The moment she says this, Ed kicks the wall. This leaves all three completely dumbfounded. Kid, what are you doing? Wait, Ed, your foot will get hurt like that. The reply comes, it's fine. After all, he's not just kicking the wall normally. He's using an exiled skill that stores impacts and allows him to take the shockwaves from his kicks. The shockwave from every kick, building up, building up, building up. Of course, Tia has no idea. To stop Ed from doing something foolish, she hurriedly tells Alexis, stop Ed quickly. At this rate, Ed will. The reply comes, wait. While the two are talking, Ed finishes gathering all the force and releases it in one explosive burst. Alright, come out already. As these words end, the mine begins to shake violently. Is this an earthquake? Of course not. Everyone, battle stations. Hearing this, Okasa immediately rushes forward and shouts, stand back, I'll hold the defense. As his words end, the mine walls explode open and a massive rockworm bursts through. Fortunately, Okasa charges to the front and uses his raw strength to hold the rockworm back. Now, attack! Almost simultaneously, Ed and Alexis launch their attacks on the rockworm, buying time for Tia to chant her spell. Swift flames spiral and dance, the sunset spear shining with crimson light. Wrapped in dim radiance, the four-fingered elven arm that pierces all. Pierce, split, burn, until everything is consumed completely. In the name of Lunaria Tia, manifest. Lava Lancer, go. As the final verse of her chant concludes, a lance-wielding rider wreathed in flames appears before Okasa. It plunges straight into the rockworm's mouth. Instantly, scorching flames explode within the creature's body. Just as everyone thinks they've defeated the rockworm, Okasa suddenly realizes something is wrong and shouts, it's not over yet. That thing knows it can't go back. It's trying to escape upward. As soon as he speaks, the rockworm shoots upward at incredible speed. But what it doesn't expect is that Ed has already predicted its move. Too bad. I have no intention of letting you escape here. However, even with its escape route blocked, the rockworm shows no sign of stopping. Right now, it's like a wounded beast, charging upward like a madman. Seeing this, everyone can't help but worry about Ed's safety. However, Ed himself has already slid into its mouth. So you want to recover your wounds where we can't interfere? That won't do. Tearing you apart from the inside will be child's play. As these words end, Ed activates his exiled skill, Blood Blade. However, Tia, knowing nothing of this, can only stare blankly at the rockworm's body and desperately shout Ed's name. It's not until she hears Okasa say the rockworm has suddenly stopped that she snaps back to her senses and rushes forward shouting, Okasa, hurry and help Ed! But as soon as she speaks, the rockworm's hard shell suddenly explodes from the inside, and at the same time, a familiar voice reaches their ears. Ugh, so smelly. Such a strong fishy odor. Seeing him safe and sound, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. Alexis even steps forward and teases him, well, you literally jumped into its mouth. What did you expect? However, the response he gets is, sure, that's true, but smelly things are still smelly, you know. As soon as he finishes speaking, Tia grabs Ed without caring about the smell on him and shouts anxiously, Ed, there's so much blood on you. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Hearing this, Ed immediately replies, I'm fine. This is all just splattered blood. You idiot. What were you thinking, doing something so reckless? Do you know how worried I was? Hearing this, Ed can only hastily explain, this level doesn't really count as reckless, does it? Besides, if we'd let it escape here, come to think of it, even in the first cycle, she worried about me like this. No matter which cycle it is, Tia is still Tia, unchanged. With these deeply emotional thoughts, Ed reassures her, I'm sorry, but it's fine. I thought I could do it, and it really was the right move at that moment. After all, I don't want to waste my teammates' efforts. Hearing this, Tia pouts slightly and replies softly, yeah, I understand. To keep Tia from worrying about him again, Ed silently resolves that he must become even stronger. Thinking this, he immediately speaks up. But anyway, this is it. Ed takes out the gem from his chest. Is this the pure mithril? I can't believe it. It's so beautiful. But wait, this rockworm's body is so massive, yet the pure mithril inside is only this much? Hearing this, Alexis replies, that's actually quite a large piece. Even I'm seeing pure mithril this big for the first time. This statement leaves Tia and Okasa stunned. If even Alexis has never seen one this big, how much could it be worth? Yeah, probably enough to buy a small castle. With premium material at this level, there's no second chance. Once impurities get in, you can't reforge it. So we absolutely need a masterclass blacksmith. The moment he finishes speaking, he notices Okasa and Tia are still fixated on the money. Alexis instantly realizes these two are hopeless. After letting out a sigh, he turns to Ed. Since pure mithril was your target, I assume you already have a plan for how to use it. However, the response he gets is, oh, this? Actually, I'm somewhat confident in my blacksmithing skills. This catches hero Alexis completely off guard, and he thinks to himself, is this guy cheating or something? How can he do everything? Sometime later, everyone returns to the city. They head to Silver Force. Wow, the furnace and tools are in pristine condition. Is it really okay for me to use this place? Of course. We've already received the usage fee from the hero. After all, you saved this town. Letting you use it for free would be the least we could do. That won't do. I'll pay you every coin. Listen, I've prepared the place according to your requirements. But if you produce some half-finished mess and waste these materials, you'd better be ready for what comes next. The response is simply, of course, seeing he seems completely confident. Alexis is relieved and calls the other two to leave, but he notices that Tia is still sitting there, watching Ed bustle about with full attention. She smiles from time to time, showing no intention of leaving whatsoever. This surprises Alexis somewhat. It seems you really are quite fond of him. Same during the entry test and when buying supplies. I know you're a kind person, but aren't you paying a bit too much attention this time? But her response is simply, is that so? Why do you think that is? Hearing this, Alexis smiles faintly. Sometime later, at a tavern. Alexis, I can't believe you said that. The one paying attention to that kid is clearly you, isn't it? That's exactly why you'd listen to a kid who just joined the team and come all the way to a place like this. You even entrusted that precious item to him. Normally, you wouldn't trust someone that much. After a moment of silence, Alexis slowly replies, since he became our companion, I've been observing him. Aside from swordsmanship that rivals my own, there are the unknown magic tools and intel that is eerily accurate. On top of that, there's his knowledge of monsters and his sheer adaptability. Even I'm shocked, so yeah, maybe I'm paying a little attention. Hearing this, Okasa can't help but burst into laughter. That's so like you. It'd be even better if you could just say it honestly. Meanwhile, I know this sounds a bit, well, you know, but blacksmithing isn't something amateurs enjoy watching. It's fine. I'm watching Ed, not the forging. Haven't I always been watching? Yeah, that's true, but I still really want to watch. Because you can do anything, Ed. Looking at that deeply familiar face, Ed can't help but recall the past. Those former frustrations and regrets surge through his heart once more. That's not true. I'd say there are many things I can't do. These hands always miss some important things. So this time, I won't repeat the same mistakes. In this endlessly looping world, I'll rewrite the ending. With these hands of mine and exiled skills, I'll create the future. I'll change the ending. For that, it must be with these hands of mine. I'll personally forge weapons powerful enough to change fate. Meanwhile, welcome back, Lord Sane. The hero has arrived. The rockworm has been defeated. Ugh, this body is as frustrating as ever. What does the hero's party plan to do with the pure mithril? Investigating this is my job as reconnaissance officer. But first, I should report the situation here to the Demon Lord. First, by the way, Tia, what kind of person was that porter who ran away that you mentioned? He was a very ordinary-looking man. His name was something like, oh, and he had a really distinctive hooked nose. I had that dream again, walking through someone else's life, someone else's future. That was a dream of Ed and me. Why would I have such a dream when I've only just met Ed? He suddenly cried when he saw me. He's a mysterious man. I felt inexplicably sad at that moment too. This is my secret alone. Just being with him like this somehow makes me feel incredibly happy and warm. After Tia falls asleep, Ed murmurs to himself, I worked up quite a sweat. Let me grab some water and take a break. However, when he reaches into the Wanderer's treasury, Ed suddenly remembers that the countless treasures and travel records he accumulated over 100 years weren't carried over. That's why he had no choice but to reforge his weapons. Fortunately, his abilities and memories were properly retained. Ed takes out Akashic's compass and inputs a name. However, just as he does this, a pair of cold eyes is fixated on his every move. Is that the one? The newcomer to the hero's party who's been causing a stir? According to the intel I gathered, he's just a porter. Why is he forging here now? The two have no connection whatsoever. At this moment, the demon eye beside him says, why bother with all that? Just kill him. However, the response is, no, I need to observe the situation more. You know, even though I can transform into human form, I can only become the same person. If I act rashly and expose my appearance, it'll affect future operations. Hearing this, the demon eye immediately starts snarking, but the response is, come on, I'm an executive. Show me a little respect. As these words end, Sane transforms into a shadow lizard. Before reporting to the demon lord, it's safer to gather some additional intel. You all stand by for now. A few days later. Is it finished? You completed it in just 6 days? Hearing this, Ed answers proudly, well, aside from eating and sleeping, I've been forging non-stop. So, did you make something that will satisfy me? To this, Ed confidently replies, of course. If I'm the one making it, it'll definitely be top-notch. This makes Okasa even more curious. Hey kid, don't keep us in suspense. Hurry up and show us. Don't rush. I found a perfect test subject. For this, I need to use this thing. Seeing this, Tia asks curiously, is this a magic tool that can sense monster locations? How do you use it? As Ed explains to everyone, on the other side, Sane is spying on their every move from a distance. The new equipment is finished? Is that a sword, gauntlets, and a silver staff? I see. So that's what the mithril was for. I'm slightly concerned about those 3 pieces forged from pure mithril. In theory, aside from the holy sword, they shouldn't pose a threat, but it still feels strange. Looks like I need to observe a bit longer. However, as soon as he finishes speaking, Sane is horrified to discover that the newcomer who just joined the hero's party suddenly looks directly at him. This immediately panics Sane. Did he see me? Is it by chance? No. You all wait here. I must report this to the demon lord immediately. That newcomer is definitely strange. Even the hero can't sense me. Yet he noticed me. What was that look in his eyes? Like he was viewing me as his prey? That's backwards. Just as Sane is about to escape the city, a chill suddenly surges from below. Before Sane can figure out what's happening, 2 ice spikes pierce straight through his wings. This leaves Sane completely confused again. I'm under attack? This is the elven spell Ice Arrow. How is it possible to hit me from this distance? Just as Sane is puzzling over this, a cold voice reaches his ears. Hey there, General. I've been wanting to meet you for quite a while. Didn't expect we'd meet this soon. Looking pretty lively, aren't you, Sane? Sane, the demon army's reconnaissance officer, finds it incomprehensible. Why does he know his name? Just as Sane is still puzzling over this, Ed suddenly says, "Oh right, this is still a secret now, isn't it? Sorry, looks like I'm getting ahead of myself. Playing silent? That won't work on me." Hearing this, Sane originally wants to argue, but just then the other two from the hero's party arrive. "Ed, what's the situation?" "Yeah, went smoothly. Nice shot from that distance. Is this the demon who's been monitoring us?" "Yes." Enemy reconnaissance is quite common. The conversation between the three makes Sane hardly believe it. Could it be that he's the one being monitored? Fortunately, the hero didn't come along. With this in mind, Sane immediately claims to be no enemy but an envoy sent by the demon lord, bearing a message for the hero. "You say you're a envoy?" "Yes, for a better future for both sides." However, before he can finish, Ed interrupts. "The hero won't be coming here. To clear a proper battleground for us, he's currently evacuating the surrounding residents. And you actually said you're here to discuss the future?" I almost died laughing. "Give up on that fantasy because I'm going to crush your future again." Ed's murderous intent troubles Tia somewhat, in contrast to her expression. On the other side, Sane bursts into laughter. "You'll crush me? A mere insect talking big when you're not even the hero. You almost had me fooled. Think about it. I'm the one who should be looking down on you." As these words end, Sane releases his transformation and reveals his true form. This massive form immediately puts Tia and Okasa on alert, while Ed calmly states, "Good thing we evacuated the citizens beforehand." However, as soon as he finishes speaking, Sane launches an attack on everyone. With a thunderous boom, the location where the three stand explodes. Fortunately, Okasa activates Aura's shield in advance, creating a foothold in the air and dodging the attack. This enrages Sane even more. Unforgivable. I absolutely hate this brutish form with no aesthetic whatsoever. Since you've seen it, none of you are leaving today. I'll blast this entire town to pieces. As these words end, Sane's magic power begins surging rapidly and gradually concentrates before him. The resulting shockwaves even make the surrounding air tremble, and the ground is blasted into devastation. Seeing Sane's charge is about to complete, Ed hastily asks Okasa beside him, "You've got the hang of using those gauntlets, right?" To this, Okasa confirms. He crosses his hands and activates Aura's shield again. Meanwhile, Sane's devastating attack pours toward the town, but after the strike lands, he's shocked to find the entire town is protected by a large-scale defensive spell. According to his investigation, this scale should have been impossible. Not only him, even Tia is shocked. She never imagined the gauntlets Ed forged for Okasa could easily unleash. A large-scale defensive barrier that would require many high-ranking mages working together to create. Not only her, even hero Alexis can't help but praise after seeing it. Incredible. Just one weapon provides such a massive enhancement. Ed, who on earth are you? And that weapon, what is it capable of? Lord Okasa, this is for you, gauntlets. That's right. By accumulating magic power in your fists and releasing all the magic your fists hold in one burst, as that memory ends, Okasa's fist, like a cannonball leaving its barrel, directly pierces through the incoming arm. Such absurd power makes Sane start doubting whether the person before him is even human. This is impossible. My arm was destroyed so easily. Seeing this, Tia can't help but exclaim in amazement, "Wow, it really exploded." And Okasa is even more excited. "Fantastic. Kid, my muscles finally exploded. That wasn't enough, let's go again." Hearing this, Sane feels like dying. Putting the hero aside for a moment, this bald guy is way too overpowered. He doesn't even have the holy sword yet can unleash such power. How is this even possible? Could it be that guy's doing? No matter what, I must report this intel to the demon lord. Thinking this, Sane summons lightning again, but this time his target is actually himself. Seeing this, Okasa says in surprise, "Is he insane? He just blew himself up." But Ed sees through it. No, that was just a diversion. Looks like he changed form and escaped. Just as Ed suspected, Sane transforms into a rockworm to evade pursuit and burrows underground. This way, there's no way they can catch up. However, as soon as this thought ends, the earth begins shaking violently. Before he can react to what's happening, he's dragged out of the ground by rocks. At the same time, a voice reaches his ears. Unfortunately, Ed's eyes can't be deceived. The blade Tia holds is the exclusive weapon Ed forged for her. Its ability lets her channel elven magic into the blade and release it as slashing attacks with each swing. Such incredible power makes even Okasa exclaim, "Tia, you can pull off a move like that?" However, the response is, "It's just magic that binds enemies with stone." Thanks to this sword, it has such a powerful effect, as Tia is still marveling at this. On the other side, Ed has already walked to the front alone. "Yo, Sane, I know very clearly what you'll do after this. That crushing regret, even after death and rebirth, I've never once forgotten." Hearing this, Sane says in confusion, "After this? What are you even talking about?" But the response he gets is, "You don't need to understand. It's just my way of atoning." Ed's words leave Sane very confused. What is going on with this person? Unable to figure it out, he can only roar, "Where the hell did someone like you come from?" Facing Sane's desperate strike, Ed shows no panic whatsoever. He calmly draws his sword and replies unhurriedly from the impending future, "Spread your wings, Silverwing Blade. Bring down those 12 divine punishments upon the sinner." As these words end, Ed swings his blade. Though it's only one strike, the sword energy splits into 12, each one lethal. And after completing this strike, Ed places his hand before the sword and sweeps it backward. As his palm moves, the wings on the blade transform into a scabbard, until the entire blade is completely wrapped, transforming into an ordinary staff. Looking at Sane, who has completely lost his life, Ed can't help but murmur, "Is it over?" However, just as he he's reflecting on this, his companion's voices reach his ears. Ed, are you okay? Hearing this, he immediately replies, yes, I'm fine. It's finally settled. My sword and gauntlets turned out pretty good, right? His smug expression makes both Tia and Okasa start teasing him. After examining Sane's corpse up close, Tia can't help but ask, is he really dead? I don't see any wounds on him at all. Hearing this, Ed tells her to look more carefully. At this moment, Alexis also approaches. I see. The strike produced almost no impact, and the cut surface is terrifyingly smooth. He probably died without even realizing he'd been struck. Without both the strength of the swordsman and the quality of the blade, this level is impossible. Hearing this, Ed laughs it off. I'm still far from there. The sword was also made in a rush. As soon as he finishes, Alexis says seriously, do you take me for a fool? Ed, I'm the hero. That title isn't just for decoration. As far as I know, there isn't a single craftsman in this world who can create weapons like the ones you made, and yet you say they were made in a rush? Ed, just who are you? What are you hiding? Hero Alexis's words make Ed panic internally. Crap, did I overdo it? Thinking this, Ed can only say nervously, hiding something? I mean, you're kind of putting me on the spot here. However, before he can finish, Alexis interrupts. That sword is different from its appearance. It's not just a simple mithril staff, is it? I have no idea how it's structured, but it can change thickness freely and form an incredibly sharp edge. Hearing this, Ed immediately replies, yes. By converting mithril from one side into wings while holding the shape, the blade gets thinner and sharper. I can convert up to 12 wings, but if it gets too thin, even a light impact will shatter it. Of course, the transformation doesn't use magic. It's an exiled skill called Master Smith. Naturally, Alexis won't know about that part. Thinking this, Ed quickly says, as expected of the hero, you saw through it at a glance. However, just when Ed thinks he's gotten away with it, Alexis suddenly says, then let me ask in a different way. As a blacksmith, what is your greatest ambition? Wait, what? You can ask this kind of question? Thinking this, Ed replies, I suppose it would be a sword that can cut anything. After hearing this, Alexis says meaningfully, that's quite a common goal. But Ed, you should have already created such a sword, right? As soon as he finishes, a surprised voice comes from the side. Huh? Is that so? Alexis, why do you think that? The response is, if we're talking about test pieces or practice works, that's one thing. But you said made in a rush, which means if conditions were right, you could make an even better sword. But why would you make such a makeshift sword? What's the reason for not forging your true blade? What is it? Materials, equipment, or time? Actually, it's not that Ed doesn't want to, it's that forging that sword is impossible at this stage. After all, the required materials were all collected in the previous world. Thinking this, he immediately says, the biggest problem is materials. They're things money can't buy. After a moment of silence, Alexis calmly replies, I see. Anyway, let's head back for now. After all, we still need to clean up the mess. Especially the damaged walls must be repaired quickly. Though for me, this is easy. Hearing this, Tia immediately gets flustered. Wait a moment, Alexis. Please leave the wall repairs to Okasa and me. Seeing this, Alexis asks in confusion, why? Before he can agree, Tia and Okasa have already run off toward the walls. Finally finding a chance to escape, Ed hastily says, then I'll help too. However, as soon as he speaks, Alexis says, wait, I have something else for you. Come to my room alone. I have something to say to you. These words make Ed break into a cold sweat again. In the name of Lunaria Tia, manifest. Stone arm. As the chant ends, the surrounding rubble quickly gathers together, forming a massive arm that begins moving the scattered boulders around. Seeing this, the citizens sincerely praise, as expected of the elf from the hero's party. Hearing this, Tia immediately says to everyone, I'm so sorry. The battle earlier damaged the walls. I'll clean it up right away. To this, the citizens tell her not to worry. After all, you protected the town, and that's enough. Others then begin expressing their gratitude to Tia. Seeing this, Tia replies bashfully, we only did what was right. Hearing this, the citizens become even more excited. At this rate, even the Demon Lord could be defeated in an instant. We really hope that day comes soon. We'll be rooting for you. After a moment of silence, Tia places her hand on her chest and replies, yes, we will definitely bring peace back to the world with everyone's support. The Demon Lord is nothing. Just as everyone is still cheering about this, hearty laughter suddenly comes from behind. Ha ha ha, Tia's absolutely right. Before my muscles, it's all child's play. Seeing this, everyone can't help but exclaim. Carrying such a huge stone yet still so effortless, Okasa keeps boasting. Even if it's the Demon Lord, same thing. As he finishes speaking, he sets the massive stone down smoothly, leaving everyone stunned once again. They exclaim, Lord Okasa truly is the world's most dependable powerhouse. But despite the citizens' praise, Okasa doesn't let it go to his head. Instead, he walks up to Tia and says, it's okay, Tia. True, the more we achieve, the heavier people's expectations become. Isn't responding to their expectations precisely our mission as the hero's companions? But you don't have to put on a brave face with me. Hearing this, Tia lowers her head and softly replies with a quiet seeming to sense her worry, Okasa continues. Besides, with that kid joining us, we've become even stronger, so don't worry. We will definitely defeat the Demon Lord. Hearing this, Tia finally stops worrying so much. Thank you, Okasa. After adjusting her mindset, the two can't help but wonder where Ed and Alexis have gone. Meanwhile, at the inn on the other side, is black tea okay? Since it's complimentary from the inn, I can't guarantee the taste. Hearing this, Ed panics completely. No, what is going on here? The hero not only personally poured me tea, but also specifically called me to his room alone and is being so polite. This feels somewhat familiar. At this rate, won't I be exiled? Just as Ed is still worrying about this, Alexis suddenly speaks up. There's something I wanted to show you. Hearing this, Ed can't help but ask in surprise, isn't this your holy sword? However, the response he gets is, it's fine to draw it, although Ed has seen it many times in battle. Actually touching it is the first time. Is it really okay? Why would you let me? But before he can finish speaking, Ed suddenly notices something wrong. At this moment, Alexis continues, so, what do you think? Ed responds, how should I put it? It certainly lives up to its name as a holy sword. I'd say it's a fine blade. A fine blade. Then Ed, would you call this a powerful weapon? This question leaves Ed a bit stumped. He can tell the sword was forged from various metals using first-rate smithing techniques. It is, without a doubt, a legendary blade, one that he certainly couldn't have crafted with his former skills. Seeing Ed hesitate, Alexis lets out a long breath. So you noticed, this isn't the holy sword but the ultimate blade crafted by human hands, merely an imitation. Indeed, at my current level, if I fully utilize the exiled skill master smith, I should be able to forge the same sword. Such a thing shouldn't be the true holy sword. With this thought, Ed immediately asks, why use something like this? Where's the real holy sword? Hearing this, Alexis lowers his head. I don't know. Although investigation teams were dispatched all over the world, we haven't received any reports of finding the real one. Hearing this, Ed understands. So this sword is a fake, created to make people think the hero wields the holy sword? Alexis doesn't dispute this. Once the demon lord learns I'm holding a fake, he'll surely search for the true holy sword and get there first. Then we'll have no chance of winning. Although I've been getting by with sword techniques, I can feel this blade is approaching its limit, and there's no one in the world who can forge a better sword than this, or so I believed until just now. But if it's you, you should be able to forge a more powerful sword, right? Indeed, just as Alexis says. If Ed fully utilizes his knowledge and techniques from the first cycle along with his exiled skills, he should be able to forge a more powerful weapon than this blade. But that would just be another imitation of the holy sword. No matter how powerful, a sword forged by human hands will never be the true holy sword. Thinking this, Ed immediately speaks up. While I'm happy you trust me, but before Ed can finish speaking, Alexis bows. Please, Ed. This throws him completely off guard, not knowing what to do. Alexis continues, whatever equipment and materials you need, I'll prepare them for you. So, Ed, as the hero, may I ask you to forge a sword for me? Alexis's behavior leaves Ed somewhat flustered. Please don't do this. For the hero to bow to someone like me. However, the response he gets is, when necessary, I will bow. As the hero, I carry everyone's future on my shoulders. My failure is humanity's failure, so I must continue to succeed and remain everyone's hope. Hearing this, Ed immediately questions him. Why? Why do you have such resolve? You're just someone the world forced this upon. Merely a victim forced to bear a burden and fight. Someone as smart as you couldn't possibly not notice, yet why? But as soon as the words leave his mouth, Alexis firmly responds, I am special. If I want it, I can obtain anything. If I wish for it, no matter how unreasonable the desire, it can be realized. Precisely because of this, I absolutely must fulfill everyone's wish for a peaceful future. So please, lend me your strength. Let me continue being the hero. Though Alexis speaks earnestly, what he receives is complete silence. This leaves Alexis incredibly anxious. Meanwhile, Ed thinks to himself, so that's how it is. He maintains that noble pride and looks down on others because he's fully aware of being special. But being special means driving himself relentlessly. He didn't become the hero because the deity chose him. The deity chose him because Alexis was special from the very beginning. It seems I've been blind all along. Thinking this, Ed finally speaks. I understand, but a fake sword I forge isn't befitting the hero. Come forth, Akashic's compass. Point me toward the resting place of the true holy sword. Although revealing the true function of Akashic's compass in front of Alexis might greatly increase the difficulty of being expelled from the party later, the hero has shown him such resolve. Not agreeing now wouldn't be manly. Seeing this, Alexis asks Ed in shock, isn't that a magic tool that only detects monsters? However, the response he gets is, I'm sorry. As you pointed out, I've been hiding many things. So then, does the hero need a guide to where the holy sword resides? Consider this a special discount. As for payment, let me think. Defeat the demon lord and bring peace back to the world. How does that sound? Though Alexis had imagined countless forms of payment Ed might request, this was the one he never expected. Honestly, how many times are you going to surprise me? I understand. I will definitely pay that price, so take me to the holy sword. Hearing this, Ed also bows in response. I accept. Then I shall guide the hero, but before Ed can finish, the hero replies, Alexis, I don't intend to treat someone I've bowed to as a mere porter. Like Okasa and Tia, you are the hero Alexis's true companion, so just call me by my name. This surprises Ed just as much. I'll help you become a true hero, Alexis. And just like that, Ed finally becomes a true member of the hero's party. Miss Tia repaired this in just one day. It looks impressive. Thanks to the power of elven magic, it's sturdier than before. Lady Tia, are you leaving already? It would be fine to stay a bit longer. Hearing this, Tia immediately responds, thank you, but I'm very sorry. Our next destination has already been decided. Seeing Tia's determination to leave, the citizens can only reluctantly say, then at least before you depart, please accept our gratitude. How is it? This was created with the entire city's effort, though it still doesn't fully capture Lady Tia's magnificent presence. Such a mortifying scene makes Tia lose her composure instantly. Why only me? Okasa and Ed were there too. Meanwhile, Alexis, enjoying the show, remarks, indeed, this statue is slightly imperfect. Are you the one who made it? How about illuminating it from below with rainbow-colored light? Hearing this, Tia immediately responds, stop right there. This is enough. After teasing Tia and bidding farewell to the citizens, the heroes' party begins their new journey. This time, their objective is to find the true holy sword. However, even though Akashic's compass guides them, this exiled skill only shows direction, not distance, so this journey is destined to be far from easy. All Ed and his party can do is press on, following the path dictated by the exiled skill. They detour around mountains, push through dense forests, and trek across treacherous swamps. At times, they even mistake a cave for their destination, only to reach its deepest point and find it is nothing but a dead end. But this is the true adventure Ed once longed for. Scenery they couldn't see together in the first cycle. Just like this, Ed spends 3 months with his companions. Eventually, they reach a misty forest nestled among mountains at the northern edge of a certain border nation. Hey kid, isn't this the place we passed earlier? Is it really here? To this, Ed immediately responds, should be no problem. By the way, this mist can't even be dispelled with elven magic. Tia, do you know why? Hearing this, Tia immediately responds, just a moment, I'm checking. The entire forest has been enchanted with extremely powerful confounding elven magic, and after a simple dispel, another magic activates. But what's going on? The flow of magic is strange, as if it's reacting to something. If what we're looking for is here, then perhaps it's because Alexis is here. As soon as the words are spoken, Alexis and Okasa exchange glances and immediately say, I see. Looks like we've finally reached our destination this time. Okasa adds, can't let our guard down though. What happened with Tia last month was enough. Hearing this, Tia immediately retorts, that cave looked especially like it. Ed, look, they're still talking about that. However, the response she gets is, looks like we've truly found it this time. The surrounding mist begins to gradually disperse, and only then does everyone realize a magnificent temple has appeared before them. And on the altar at the center stands an ancient weathered sword. Seeing this, Ed asks Alexis, could it be? However, the only response he receives is, deep within the hidden forest lies a crystal spring. At its bottommost depths, the hero's power slumbers, so that's how it is. No wonder so many people couldn't find it. It only reveals itself when the hero personally visits. Seeing that Alexis has finally found the true holy sword yet hesitates to advance, Okasa and Tia simultaneously look at each other and smile knowingly. In that case, Alexis, hurry up and pull it out. What a touching reunion. You can do it, Alexis. Though simple, these few words give Alexis tremendous courage. I understand, thank you. Thanks to you, we've finally found this place. Hearing this, Ed immediately responds, didn't we promise? Go pull it out. However, just when everyone thinks the scene of the hero drawing the holy sword is about to unfold, this cunning Alexis actually says, no rush. Ed, why don't you try to pull out the holy sword first? Only a true hero can draw it. So if Ed can pull it out, that means he's the true hero. Hearing this, Ed's interest is instantly piqued. If you put it that way, then I'll give it a try. It's a rare opportunity after all. Okasa and Tia also express they want to try. After gripping the holy sword, Ed exerts all his strength trying to pull it out, but discovers this worn sword won't budge an inch. Though with the pedestal, I could probably put the whole thing into Wanderer's treasury, but that would be a bit ridiculous. Best not to. Seeing Ed's failed attempt, Okasa eagerly states, next is my turn. But even after exerting full strength, he too fails to move the holy sword even slightly. Next up is Tia. As expected, she still can't pull it out. Seeing this, Alexis teases, just as I predicted. Then it's finally my turn. Finally. Thinking this, Alexis raises his hand and places it on the sword's hilt. Seeing he doesn't immediately draw it, Ed can't help but worry. What's wrong? You look very nervous. That's understandable, but it'll be fine. If it's Alexis. If it's me, I can definitely pull it out. Thinking this, Alexis begins to exert force, and the sword in the stone actually loosens slightly. This excites the three tremendously. It moved. Amazing. It's coming out. You can do it, Alexis. Think of my muscles. Hearing this, an exasperated Alexis exclaims, honestly, this is the historic moment of a true hero drawing the holy sword. Why are you all making such a commotion? But a voice suddenly appears in Alexis's mind. To thee who grasps the holy sword, I ask, art thou truly the hero? As the voice ends, Alexis suddenly finds himself in a room within the royal castle. This leaves him utterly confused. What just just happened? Just as he's still puzzled by this, a familiar voice reaches his ears. Alexis. Your name is Alexis. Hehe. It seems you like it very much. Someday, everyone in the world will call your name because to me you are special. The sight before him leaves Alexis in disbelief, and a cry of mother escapes his lips. Meanwhile, at the Holy Sword's resting place, hey, what's wrong with Alexis? Why isn't he moving? Fearing something might be wrong, Ed plans to go forward and check. However, at this moment, a dark shadow suddenly appears above him. Sensing danger, Ed instinctively dodges backward. Sure enough, the next second, a massive hand slams down. Seeing this, Okasa and Tia immediately become alert. You okay, kid? Are those golems? Is this a trap? Ed doesn't know either. Right now, escaping quickly is more important. Thinking this, he begins trying to wake Alexis, but then Tia, standing nearby, tells him it's no use. A powerful spell has been cast on Alexis. His consciousness seems to have drifted off to some unknown realm. If that's the case, do these golems intend to interfere with the hero's trial? Meanwhile, Mother, please read this story again. You really do love the legend of the hero. Yes, the hero will defeat the demon lord and save the world. It's amazing. When can I become a hero too? Of course, if it's you, you definitely can. I really look forward to that day. I'll do my best, Mother, but fate has always been this cruel, leaving you with so little time. Death snatches her away from your side. From that day on, you strive every day to become the hero. Never resting, never slacking, wanting to become the hero, wanting to be special. But then, with one encounter as the catalyst, you notice you aren't special. You're just a young person. Just as Alexis's spirit undergoes the trial, her companions outside desperately protect his body. Such hardness and weight, it can actually contend with my muscles. Physical attacks ineffective, then I'll sever it directly with flowing magic. That side's on you, Ed. Okasa, head over and help Alexis. I won't let you have your way forever. With these words, Tia and Ed simultaneously unleash magic-infused slashes, severing the golem's incredibly hard body. Meanwhile, Okasa has rushed to the vicinity of the Holy Sword. Alexis, how long are you going to stay in a daze? With one encounter as the catalyst, you notice you aren't special, just a young person. But after learning the reality, you still haven't given up on becoming the hero. Is it obsession, or just nostalgia? Or perhaps merely stubbornness in chasing your mother's image that drives you forward? Before Alexis can respond, the scene shifts once more. The days exposed to the demon lord's threat end today. By divine will, a new hero is born. Let us all praise. His name is Alexis. The long-awaited hero suddenly appears. But is that truly what you hoped for? Thank you for your help. Your magical techniques are quite impressive. How about it? Can you lend us your power for a while? To keep the hero existing, you begin searching for companions. But not everyone can keep up with your pace. Is this really okay, Tia? Is driving him away as a burden the right thing to do? This is for the best. If we don't do this, Ed will definitely follow us. But after this, we won't be able to protect Ed anymore. He'll surely hate me, but even so, I hope Ed can survive, live to see the arrival of that peaceful era. That's certainly a sound judgment. Even if he accompanies us from now on, that man will only die in vain. The previous scenes were clearly Alexis's own past memories, but at this moment, this scene is something he has never experienced. This leaves him extremely bewildered. What is this? What are you showing me? This couldn't have happened. What's your purpose in showing me this illusion? However, the response he receives is, this is no illusion. This is the future of a possible past. This memory truly exists within your heart. Many things have already slipped from your grasp. Unable to become a special hero, you failed to keep even a single one of your vows to protect ordinary people. In the end, nothing remains. Is such a person truly the hero? Alexis, can you truly be called the hero? A real hero gambles all for the world's salvation, but you are lost in your attachments, your mission forgotten, rotting away with pride and arrogance. After this comes the end of playing hero, the end of the human world. Now I ask thee once more, who grasps the holy sword, art thou truly the hero? After a moment of silence, Alexis slowly speaks. Yes, indeed. I know I was merely made into the hero. Ultimately, I cannot become the hero. I'm not special. Everyone simply treats me specially. I merely went along and played at being the hero. I admit I'm not the true hero, but who decided that someone who can't be special is inferior to those who are truly special? Ed made me. Everyone made me truly special. Then I'll become a hero who surpasses even the true hero right before your eyes. I am the hero. With that unwavering conviction, Alexis finally draws the sword from the stone, claiming the hero's legacy. In an instant, brilliant light shoots up from the ground, gradually gathering upon the holy sword, following where Alexis's blade points. The light transforms into an unstoppable blade, instantly piercing through the golem's incredibly hard body. As the light gradually fades, Alexis stands holding the holy sword atop the ruins, its faint glow drawing praise even from Tia. Such a beautiful sword, it's just like the moon. At this moment, Alexis murmurs, so this is the holy sword's power? With this power, no, with this power, everyone's help, we will shatter that impregnable magical barrier and reach the demon lord's lair. If it's us, we can definitely defeat the demon lord. And so Alexis gains the holy sword's recognition and becomes a true hero. In her eyes, the moonlight quietly flickers. After successfully obtaining the holy sword, the hero's party finally prepares for the final battle. Now they only need to pass through Magic Mirror to reach the demon lord's location. Just as Alexis is still contemplating this, a voice reaches his ears. You should rest. I'll take over the night watch. Hearing this, Alexis asks Okasa, what about Tia and Ed? However, the response is, they're asleep, must be exhausted. But as soon as the words are spoken, Alexis suddenly says with emotion, Okasa, I'm grateful you've accompanied me this far. This sudden sudden statement throws Okasa completely off guard. Why so suddenly unlike you? Are you still feeling uneasy at this point? Hearing this, Alexis immediately responds, nothing like that, but being prepared is necessary, right? You all have the right to live your own lives. This statement displeases Okasa somewhat. Are you saying I doesn't have such resolve? To this, Alexis responds, how could that be? It's just that some people are different, right? True, we can't demand such resolve from those two. When that time comes, my muscles will protect them. This was originally just his jest, but what Okasa doesn't expect is Alexis's solemn response. Okasa, if it really comes to that, please forgive my selfishness with a smile. This gives him an ominous premonition. A few hours later, Okasa, leave it to me. Aura shield. Hey kid, have you found the prey? Sorry, not yet. Damn it. No matter what, there are just too many. There's no time to search. They're too much of a hindrance. Hearing this, Alexis tells Ed to fall back. She'll handle the surrounding monsters. Turn to ash. Secret art. Full moon blade. With these words, Alexis unleashes the hero's power, instantly sweeping away all monsters within a 10-mile radius. Such an astounding display of power elicits admiration, even from Ed, truly worthy of being the real holy sword. Amazing. Found it. Tia, are you ready? After receiving an affirmative response, Ed immediately points toward a location and shouts, hiding is useless. Over there, that tallest tree. With these words, Tia immediately uses her blade as a conduit, manifesting tremendous lightning. Storm ray, as her fingers release, like a wild horse breaking its tether, the lightning instantly pierces the beast lord hidden atop the cliff. This is the magic mirror that makes humans recoil in fear. This is a deep shadowed forest that carves a border between the human and demon realms. Many vicious monsters make their den here. It is an untrodden territory, untouched by those who came before. The future me carried Tia across using exiled skills, but that was an exception. The sheer peril of crossing this forest by ordinary means would be beyond measure. If not for the hero, surely no one could pass through here. We should be safe here for now. Let's get some rest while we have the chance. We've been eating preserved food lately. I really miss Ed's homemade cooking. Hearing this, Ed replies with a smile, ha ha ha. Then when we return to the city, I'll make you the most delicious food and let you eat your fill. At this moment, Okasa states, though delicious meals give people motivation, cooking here is difficult. Tia knows this too, so just bear with it for now. After comforting Tia, Ed also asks Alexis, are you okay? Using such a powerful technique must be tiring. To this, Alexis responds that he's fine. True, my control is still a bit rough, but I'll master it soon. After all, I'm the hero. That's so like you. At this moment, Tia also speaks up. I originally thought we'd have to wait several more years to challenge the magic mirror, but after meeting Ed, we arrived here in just half a year. I feel like we'll stay together forever. Hearing this, Ed can't help but lower his head. One condition for returning to the divine realm, over half a year of joint activities, has been met, so next he needs to be expelled from the party. Alexis, who obtained the true holy sword, is undoubtedly now the strongest person in this world as the hero. So what about me? True, we fight together here, but our purposes are different. Everyone who stays and me who will leave. This difference can never be erased. The thought of perhaps just living in this world like this has crossed my mind, but no, absolutely not. Just looking at this scenery makes my soul increasingly yearn for home. So the question is how to naturally be expelled from the party. Just as Ed is still pondering this, the sound of everyone's cheers reaches his ears. Just one more stretch and we'll cross the magic mirror. Defeat the demon lord, Ed casually asks. By the way, what does everyone plan to do after defeating the demon lord? After defeating him? Right. Is there anything you want to do? To this, Tia responds, Alexis will probably just become king, right? Hearing this, Ed immediately teases, will you put wings on the castle then? However, the response he gets is, how could that be possible? As for Okasa, I suppose you'll return to the Winter Kingdom? To this, Okasa responds, true, I do need to go back and report, but don't worry, I'll return soon. Hearing this, Alexis immediately replies, I'm not worried, okay? Ha ha ha, I understand. Don't be shy. What about you, Tia? To this, Tia replies, I'd probably like to travel in the peaceful era. After all, the world is so vast. There are mountains of things I want to see and know. Maybe settling down somewhere would be nice. Everyone gathering together talking about travel memories. Wouldn't that be wonderful? What about you, Ed? What are your hopes for the peaceful era? After a moment of silence, Ed slowly responds, me? I'll bring back some souvenirs to my hometown. It's the countryside, but it's a good place. This instantly piques Tia's interest. Ed's hometown? I really want to go too. Hearing this, Ed can only manage a sheepish if there's a chance, which completely breaks Tia. Stingy. Then at least tell me how to contact you. If you sneak away, I won't forgive you. That's right, kid. Even if the party disbands, we're friends who fought together. That bond will never disappear. Alexis can't help but retort. What are you all doing? Did you get drunk on water? We haven't accomplished anything. Yet, you're really impatient. But before he can finish speaking, Ed interjects first, Alexis, you absolutely must defeat the demon lord. If it's you all, you can definitely realize that happy future. Of course, I have no intention of breaking my promise to you. Hearing this, Ed responds with a teasing grin. You said it yourself. To this, Alexis responds, at this point, what? But he stops mid-sentence. Because at this moment, Ed extends his fist and says seriously, it's a promise. You'll defeat the demon lord. no matter what hardships we must overcome. After a moment of silence, Alexis extends his fist as well and replies earnestly, I understand. It's a promise. I'll defeat the Demon Lord. This will be the first of 100 farewells to come. Can't I witness it to the end this time either? Then to leave no regrets, I'll give everything I have to reach the end, believing there's still a future ahead. As Ed ponders this, Okasa stumbles out of the tent, eyes heavy with sleep. Just as he's looking for a spot to relieve himself, a figure by the firelight catches his eye. He speaks, about time for a shift. You should rest too, kid. But the response he gets is, how are the others? Tia and Alexis. Hearing this, Okasa replies, sleeping soundly. What's up? I see. Then, Okasa, could I ask you for a favor? There will be no more regrets. All hesitation has completely vanished. This is my final task as the exiled one. There it is, the end of the magic mirror. After nearly a month, we finally made it. Then let's carve open the path with this final strike. With those words, Alexis unleashes his moonlight blade, sweeping away all obstacles ahead. But the moment they burst out of the magic mirror, everyone stops dead in their tracks. So it's come to this after all? Outside the magic mirror, not only is there a massive ambush of the demon army, but their retreat has been cut off as well. Gazing at the endless demon forces, Ed thinks to himself, so this is what happened in the first cycle. The reason the hero's party was wiped out. As Ed continues to ponder, a figure suddenly steps forward from the demon army. Hee, welcome, welcome. We've been waiting for you, hero, and your companions. Truly worthy of being called the hero. I never imagined you'd actually break through the magic mirror. But with those exhausted bodies, can you really fight the demon army before you? Just as he gloats, Ed steps forward and fires back. Well, quite the welcoming committee you've got here. Someone's feeling ambitious. If you want the hero's autograph, line up properly. I'll carve it into every last one of you. After hearing this, he gives a snort. So it's you. Actually, I received a strange report. Apparently the one who cornered Commander Sane wasn't the hero, but a black-haired porter. With those words, a demon eye appears before everyone. That's him, Lord Sane's enemy. Seeing this, Ed mutters in confusion. Wait, I didn't leave anyone alive though. Oh, I get it. The type that transmits information upon death? So what then? If I stay behind alone, will you let them pass? Hearing this, he bursts into laughter. What nonsense. The lesson we learn from that is to go all out, no matter how weak the opponent. In other words, this time the demon army has mobilized its full strength to ensure we eliminate you, all right here. After hearing this, hero Alexis gives a snort. After all that talk, we still have to defeat you all to pass, right? What's the point of confirming it with us? All this self-satisfied posturing and empty threats. Do demons even have functioning brains? Alexis's taunts completely enrage him. Furious, he snarls, I'll wipe you all out. All forces attack. Kill them. At those words, the endless demon army surges forward like a plague of locusts, descending upon the hero's party in overwhelming numbers. Facing the overwhelming military force, Alexis shows no fear. He draws his holy sword and says calmly, this is just a skirmish. Let's make this quick. Hearing this, Ed readies himself and replies, got it. Tia chimes in, Alexis, don't push yourself too hard. We still have the Demon Lord waiting for us after this. You're right. Leave this to me. With those words, Okasa exerts all his strength, launching his power at the army ahead. With a resounding boom, the demon army's vanguard is sent flying by an incredibly hard barrier, instantly weakening their momentum by a third. At the same time, an ethereal voice begins to echo across the battlefield. Crescent stars that gather and shatter boulders along the path. Spirit fangs whose radiant light pierces the endless wilderness. Manifest in the name of Lunaria Tia. Rock spikes, with the chance completion. The surrounding earth is pierced by deadly thorns, instantly obliterating all demons near the barrier. The commander at the rear, unaware of what's happening, continues directing his forces. Our goal is simply to wear down the hero here. Spare no lives, weaken the enemy with your own bodies, keep advancing. But just as he finishes speaking, a soldier runs over in a panic. Lord Greyges, the enemy's defensive barrier is too strong. Offensive magic has no effect, and that elf's magic is far stronger than reported. We can't stop them at all. Hearing this, Greyges finally realizes something is wrong. Why is that bald one's defense so solid? It doesn't match the intel we gathered. And that elf too? Why isn't her mana depleting despite continuously using magic of this scale? This won't do. Thinking this, Greyges immediately shouts, "Come forth, Jaramgand! Destroy their foothold!" With those words, the ground around them begins to shake violently. Before the four can figure out what's happening, the ground suddenly collapses, rapidly spreading dozens of meters outward, leaving them nowhere to escape. The ground splitting. Damn it, is it a trap? They're willing to take out their own forces just to eliminate us? If we keep falling like this, it'll be bad. We need to get back to the surface quickly. But just as those words are spoken, an eerie voice suddenly rises from below. Found you, heroes? Following the voice, everyone suddenly discovers a massive demon beast beneath the cavern. Seeing this, Ed can't help but exclaim, "What the hell is that?" Meanwhile, Tia shouts while channeling mana into her weapon, "Everyone, hold on. Manifest in the name of Lunaria Tia. Stone arm." With those words, the surrounding rubble surges toward them, soon forming a massive arm. That, under Tia's command, bursts out of the pit, grasping onto the cliff's edge. Seeing how much this drains her, Ed can't help worrying about her condition. But Tia insists, "I'm fine. Go! Through Tia's efforts, everyone finally escapes the pit. But the next second, the giant serpent follows them out, clamping down hard on the stone arm. Fortunately, Tia uses stone walls to grab its body in time, preventing them from being swallowed. But it's only a matter of time. Confident in its victory, the serpent taunts, "You think you can escape from my grasp with that? I'll swallow you along with that barrier, and then..." But before it can finish, the serpent suddenly senses something is wrong. At the same time, a gruff voice reaches its ears. "Didn't expect a body this big could fly." That's surprising, but it's far from truly unexpected. The serpent never imagined that a barrier deployed by just one person would get stuck in its throat. Even more unexpected is the voice that now comes from atop its head. "Whoa, not only can it stretch, it can fly too. Looks like we can make use of this thing." Funny, I was thinking the same thing. "Then let's take ourselves on one hell of a ride." With those words, Ed drives his weapon into the creature's head. The intense pain makes the serpent completely forget about its prey, writhing agonizingly in midair. Seeing this, Alexis hurriedly calls out to Ed, "Hey, wrong direction, left, no, a bit higher." But the response is, "This is way too hard. Damn it, we're going to crash. Tia, use wind magic to protect us." Hearing this, she immediately complies. Sure enough, the next second the serpent plunges headfirst into the ground, finally coming to a stop after sliding several meters. The three of them recover from the crash. "We okay now?" "Yes, we barely made it. So glad we caught up in time." Hearing this, Ed replies, as expected of Tia, "Good work. You used up a lot of mana just now, right? Drink this. We still have a long way to go." At this moment, Okasa crawls out of the serpent's mouth, laughing. "This much can't hurt my muscles." Hearing this, Ed says with an exasperated expression, "Okasa, please properly replenish your mana too." On the other side, Alexis has Ed look to the side. Though it's a bit different from expected. "We've finally made it here, the true demon territory." Looking around, Tia says cautiously, "But rushing in like this is impossible, right?" Okasa agrees. "Though we just flew here using the serpent. If we leave that army alone, we'll be caught in a pincer attack." This is exactly what Tia worries about. So we absolutely can't let them advance further. But how do we handle numbers like these? Even going all out, it'll be tough. But just as those words are spoken, Alexis suddenly says in a grave tone, "Everyone, listen to me. I'm deeply grateful we could fight together this far. I truly thank you all. That's exactly why I want to say this. Ahead lies a land of death. I can't guarantee we'll return. You're not like me, the hero. You have the right to choose your own path. Withdrawing here is also a choice. I swear I won't blame you. Even so, are you willing to fight with me to the end?" As soon as he finishes, Tia pouts and says, "Wait a minute. At this point you're still asking that? Haven't we already decided to go together?" Okasa agrees. "My muscles are already raring to go. Even you as the hero can't stop them." Hearing this, Ed thinks to himself, "I see. I understand now. Alexis, this is your resolve and pride, isn't it? That's why in the first cycle, even at the cost of yourself, you chose to save Tia. You're that kind of fool. But it's precisely because you're that kind of person that I can choose this path without hesitation. If it's you all, it'll be fine. Even if I'm not here, it'll be fine." Thinking this, Ed speaks up. "Sorry, I'm withdrawing here." This sudden turn of events catches the hero completely off guard. Tia freezes on the spot. "Ed, you're joking, right? This is just to lighten the mood, right?" But the response is, "I'm not joking. I'm serious. I'm sorry, Tia. My time with your party ends here." Hearing this, Tia replies trembling, "But we've been together this whole time." This time, Ed doesn't answer but lowers his head. Thinks to himself, "I've been thinking all along, if I just go with them to defeat the Demon Lord, will I even be able to return to my original world? The Demon Lord and the hero are opposing forces. So when the Demon Lord is defeated, will the hero still be a hero? If that's the case, will it still fulfill the condition of being exiled from the hero's party? The truth will only be known by doing it. If it doesn't work, I'll never be able to return to my original world, betting my entire life, trying to exploit loopholes in the rules of some goddamn deity that were never clearly stated. That's not a gamble I can take now. So I need to be exiled during this journey too. Right now is probably where all our futures diverge." As Ed ponders this, the previously silent Alexis suddenly speaks. "I see. It's precisely because you can calmly make such judgments even in this situation that you've made it this far. To me as the hero, demon beasts are just insignificant small fry. But the numbers are real for an ordinary person like you. It's possible that..." But before he can finish, Tia excitedly protests, "How could that be? If it's Ed..." But before she can finish, Alexis cuts her off. "Tia, this is Ed's decision. You said the other day you wanted to return to your homeland, right? Then this is a reasonable judgment. So respect his decision." After saying this, Alexis shows a sorrowful expression while Ed speaks. "Thank you, Alexis. It's because I want to go back. Let's part ways here." Hearing this, Alexis turns his head away and replies, "There's nothing to worry about. Thanks to you, I now have the true holy sword in my hands. I can handle this much with ease. So get out of here before the battle starts." Hearing this, Tia can only place her last hope in Okasa, hoping he can help her convince Ed to stay. Is this really okay? I understand Ed's feelings, but the response is, "Kid, don't tell me you're going to..." After speaking these cryptic words, Okasa suddenly freezes. No matter how much Tia calls to him, he doesn't say another word, because his thoughts have already returned to last night. "Lord Okasa, could I ask you for a favor?" Hearing this, Okasa jokes. "Why the sudden formality, kid? Are you anxious about the upcoming final battle?" Ed gives a wry smile. "Not at all. If anything, I'm much more at ease." Alexis Alexis now has the true holy sword. That guy has undoubtedly become the strongest hero right now. Not only that, Tia now is a powerhouse who can defeat any enemy, and Lord Okasa can protect everyone from any enemy. You two are the hero's ultimate spear and shield. Rock solid. I'm almost starting to feel bad for the Demon Lord. Okasa immediately replies, yeah, it'd be even better if we had an all-rounder as skilled as you. Don't be modest. It takes all four of us to make the hero's party. Everyone knows we'd never have made it this far without you. So what is it you want to ask of me? Go ahead and say it. After a wry laugh, Ed replies, then I won't hold back. After breaking through the magic mirror, I think we might face an ambush from the demon army. Hearing this, Okasa responds, I wish it were just some flashy skirmish, but who knows what kind of force they'll throw at us this time. If it is just a small-scale force, with my current strength I can easily kick them away. It's exactly as Okasa says. But this time the enemy will deploy nearly all their forces. Thinking this, Ed replies, the problem is if the enemy is a large army. But the response is, that's no problem either. Rather, it's a perfect opportunity to reduce enemy forces before the final battle. Hearing this, Ed slowly rises and replies, under normal circumstances, that's certainly true. But from the time we entered the magic mirror until today, we've been fighting non-stop, haven't we? Forget sleeping. We haven't even had proper rest, and these constant battles will keep going until we're through the magic mirror. There's no way your bodies can recover fully. Even if you win, the exhaustion just keeps piling up, passing through the magic mirror in that exhausted state. Do you think you can still defeat the Demon Lord? After hearing Ed's analysis, Okasa can't help but fall into contemplation. Indeed, at this moment Ed speaks again. Lord Okasa, our top priority is getting Alexis in front of the Demon Lord. Okasa knows this better than anyone. These muscles of mine exist for that very purpose. After taking a deep breath, Ed replies meaningfully, then what we need is the resolve to make sound judgments in an emergency, if it really comes to that. Please give me a push from behind. With the memory's end, Ed's voice reaches his ears again. Lord Okasa, I've packed everything necessary. It's heavy, but for you, this much isn't a problem, right? Taking the heavy pack after a brief silence, Okasa replies with a serious expression. I see, Ed. Is this that moment? Yes, please. Through his gaze, Okasa sees no hesitation or fear, only resilience and determination. Then there's only one thing he can do for Ed now. Thinking this, Okasa shoulders the pack and replies, I understand. Alexis, Tia, let's go. Just as the hero remains dejected over Ed's departure, Tia's voice suddenly reaches his ears. Okasa, that's the wrong way. The demon army is on the other side. Hearing this, hero Alexis suddenly realizes something. Could it be? Before he can speak, Ed jumps down from the serpent alone and walks toward the demon army. Seeing this, Alexis hurries to stop him, but Okasa blocks him. This makes him say angrily, Okasa, let go. But the response is, that's not where the hero needs to go, Alexis. Their exchange leaves Tia completely confused. Alexis doesn't explain but continues, don't joke with me. No, don't underestimate me. A path forward bought with a companion's sacrifice. You think that is a sound judgment? Hearing this, Tia finally understands the reason for their dispute. Don't tell me Ed is leaving the party to hold back the entire army alone here. That absolutely can't happen. But just as Tia tries to move forward to stop him, a barrier rises around them. What's the meaning of this? Why release defensive magic now? You think I'll approve of this? Ed doesn't reply because he knows Alexis definitely won't approve. That's why in the first cycle, he chose to save Tia instead of himself as the hero. Thinking this, Ed speaks up. Hey, don't misunderstand. That guy said it earlier, right? To use the demon army's full strength to finish you off here? In other words, if I just make short work of those guys, only the demon lord will be left, right? That guy doesn't look like the lying type. Besides, he specifically called me out, so it's only right that I be his opponent. At this moment, Okasa speaks again. Alexis, if you're the hero, you should understand the kid's resolve. Everyone believes you can defeat the demon lord. So what should you do? Answer me. These words put Alexis in a dilemma, and all the experiences along this journey begin to surface in his mind. I think I can do it, and it's definitely time. After all, I don't want my companion's efforts to go to waste. Defeat the demon lord. Bring peace to the world. How about it? Stubbornly persisting, abandoning mission and pride, rotting away with arrogance. Am I truly a hero? As Alexis still hesitates over this, Ed suddenly calls out his name and makes a gesture. This makes Alexis recall their promise to each other. It's a promise. I will defeat the demon lord. No matter what hardships must be overcome, this difficult choice causes Alexis immense pain. But right now he must make that most cruel decision. At this moment, Ed speaks again. Let's draw the line one final time. Can you exile me, the deserter, from the hero's party? Hearing this, Tia immediately tells Alexis, no, I absolutely won't accept this. Please don't do this. But what she gets is Alexis's silence. At this moment, Okasa lifts Tia with one arm. She cries out desperately, what are you doing? Let me go, Okasa. No, Alexis, don't. But after a moment of silence, Alexis still speaks. I understand. With those words, Alexis draws his old sword. Ed, now as your leader, I exile you from the hero's party. This sword is lent to you, so you must survive and return it to me. Otherwise, I'll never forgive you. With those words, they each head toward their own battlefield. That's the hero for me. Thanks, Alexis. I'm counting on you from here on, Uncle Okasa. As he speaks, a familiar voice echoes in Ed's mind. Required conditions met. 10 minutes until return. Hearing this, Ed says with sadness, sorry, Tia. Even though I started the second cycle to bring back your smile, I made you cry again. I'm still too immature. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tia continues to plead. Okasa, please, let me go. If this continues, Ed will die. At least let me alone. But at this moment, ripples suddenly surge from the depths of Tia's soul, causing her to resonate with them. I've sacrificed someone again, under the protection of someone important. Only I survive. I don't know what this feeling is, but just as Tia is about to break down, Okasa suddenly shouts sternly, "Enough! Do you want to let Ed's resolve go to waste?" I understand, but Okasa, you're the same. Just as Tia is about to accuse him, she suddenly stops. At the same time, Okasa continues, "He asked me, not anyone else. Ed entrusted this to me because he believed in me." Thinking this, Okasa can't help but recall that night. Strange. I feel like I've heard something similar before. Like Alexis entrusted me with something, like a strange, painful dream that felt real. But when Ed heard this, he replied with a smile. That's now just a dream that will never happen again. With the memory's end, Okasa continues with tears in his eyes. Then if I don't respond, I can't call myself a companion. At the same time, sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks to you, the hero can advance without a hitch. We'll take down the demon lord first. Hearing this, the enemy commander replies calmly, "Futile struggle. Before the hero even reaches the demon lord, we'll have finished you off and caught up with them." Then all that awaits the hero is endless despair. But halfway through, Ed interrupts. Hey, like hell I'm letting you through. Brace yourselves. Right here, right now, this is your end. Are you all ready? To face the despair called finality. Ed sometimes shows that expression when they first met when forging weapons, like someone gazing out a window at children playing outside. That's right, an expression as if he alone doesn't belong here. I desperately tried to tell him it wasn't like that, even if death waited at the end. But if what Ed gazes at is somewhere even more distant, I would never choose that future, to ignore his will and stop him. Just as the hero's group is about to break through the checkpoint, a massive creature suddenly blocks their path. This is the end, hero, though I was prepared just in case. I never thought it would be my turn. Do you think you can pass through the path guarded by me, Lord Glasker? Hearing this, Alexis replies while staying alert. You're no match for us now. Tia, who has been silent since leaving Ed, suddenly speaks. Put me down, Okasa. I'm fine now. Okasa wants to object, but the moment he starts to speak, Tia cuts him off firmly. I'm really fine now. He has no choice but to set her down. Alexis doesn't dare say anything either. Glasker, oblivious to what's coming, keeps running his mouth. Had to sacrifice some worthless follower just to crawl your way here? Sounds exactly like something a coward of a hero would do. Before he can finish, a voice reaches him. Guiding winds that gather and rise in the verdant crescent tower, circling light. Voices of the four seasons spirits, spiral and sweep away all foes. Manifest in the name of Lunaria Tia, Storm Herald, infuse. Silver Spirit Blade, cut through this endless darkness for me. With the chance completion, a violent tornado rises before Tia. Before her, whether it's the impregnable walls or Demon Army Commander Glasker, all are torn to shreds. As the storm gradually calms, the Demon Lord's prized fortress walls have been forcibly ripped open, and the dark clouds that had shrouded this continent for years are blown away completely. The elf mage who accomplished this feat now stands atop the ruins and says resolutely, "Let's go, Alexis, let's defeat the Demon Lord. To reach the future Ed hopes for. This is how it should be, right, Ed? You said you'd end us. Facing the Demon Army's full might, just you, a small fry porter? You really talk big." Though the Demon Army commander says this, he can clearly sense the opponent's aura has suddenly changed. This guy in front of him is dangerous, but just as he ponders this, a massive sound suddenly comes from ahead. Impossible! They broke through the checkpoint. Seeing this, he can only immediately order reinforcements. But the next second, cries of anguish begin continuously from the Demon Army's front lines. Ed's figure has transformed into a crimson mist. Wherever he goes, devastation follows. This can no longer be called a battle. It's one-sided slaughter. Though Glasker's instant defeat was beyond the Demon Army commander's expectations, what surprises him even more is the person before him. What on earth are you all doing? There's only one person. He's not even the hero, just a porter. Why is he this strong? The skill Ed unleashes is the Crimson Mist Covenant of Finality, an exiled skill that amplifies every one of his abilities 100-fold. The massive surge of energy causes his blood to boil, turning it into a mist that surrounds his body. But as the price, 10 minutes after activation, Ed's heart will burst from the overload, leading to death. Damn you. If you're so quick, I'll just take away your speed. Let's see you struggle now. Gravity, vanish. As these words finish, Ed suddenly realizes his body is floating in midair. He can't help but say in surprise, "I'm floating. Not just me, looks like an area of effect spell. Tch, what a hassle." But just as Ed is thinking of a countermeasure, a voice suddenly reaches his ears. "Got you. Die." With these words, Giganos concentrates his magic power into his demon eye. Before Ed can even react, the enemy fires a devastating destruction nova. Because his body is floating, Ed has no way to dodge. He has no choice but to take the hit head on. With a thunderous boom, countless demons and Ed's figure vanish beneath this ray of death. Its power is so immense that it obliterates the entire fortress gate along with its foundation. Seeing this, the demon army's commander can't help but laugh. He's finally dead? Just a small fry, yet so troublesome. But it's finally over. Giganos, you go after the hero's party first. I need to reorganize the legion before pursuing them. Until then, stall the hero and wait for the army. Hearing this, Giganos immediately responds with a defiant look. Stall, what nonsense are you spouting? The Legion is in disarray. Your command is forfeit. I'll be the one to defeat the hero. You fool. Have you forgotten the Demon Lord's orders? The opponent is the hero. This is no time for petty power struggles. Our top priority right now is to completely eliminate the hero. But the moment these words end, a meteor suddenly streaks across the night sky, and with lightning speed, pierces directly into Giganos' demon eye. This sudden turn of events catches both of them completely off guard, and Ed, wielding the false holy sword like a deity of slaughter, roars, "I won't let you pass. I told you, didn't I?" Seeing this, the demon army's commander realizes something is wrong, but it's already too late. Ed splits Giganos in half with a single stroke. This utterly devastates the commander. Why aren't you dead? Seeing the enemy try the same trick again, Ed immediately uses his exiled skill, the magic absorbing staff. That move won't work on me anymore! But at this moment, another demon general attempts a sneak attack. Seeing this, Ed doesn't even bother to dodge. He activates Impregnable Wall and takes the hit head on. At the same time, Ed slashes his own arm with his weapon and activates Bloodblade. Too weak. You're all far too weak. I'm about to leave this world soon. For 100 years I've been repeating the same things, no matter what I did with whom. In the end, I'm nothing more than a passerby. But that is the real me. What I chose, my way of survival. The future I desire. Precisely because only I will return. I'll take everything with me. Tragic endings, despairing futures. In this world, not a single one will remain. As the slaughter continues, the sky unknowingly begins to rain blood, while demons pile up like mountains beneath Ed's feet. Just as he said before, at this very moment, in the eyes of the demon army, he is the embodiment of apocalypse, the Reaper bringing endless despair. 1 minute remains until Ed returns to the divine realm. After this overwhelming massacre, the demon lord's army of tens of thousands is reduced to almost nothing. The demon army's commander can't believe his eyes. One person with this much power? Just who are you? But it doesn't matter. Without both hands, you're finished. But the moment these words end, Ed raises his severed arm and uses his exiled skill, Unlicensed Doctor. In an instant, Ed's arm begins to regenerate. In the blink of an eye, it's fully restored. And the purpose of doing this? Merely to brush back his hair, soaked by the blood rain. Phew, done. Seeing this, the remaining soldiers can only deceive themselves, saying, "Don't lose your nerve. He's clearly at his limit." Facing the demon soldiers' attacks, Ed doesn't dodge. This causes his newly grown arm to be split in two again. But the next second, the blood from his wound transforms into a blade. Before the demon soldier can react, his throat is slashed in one stroke. Before the other soldiers can close in, Ed's left hand regenerates once again. He grabs the enemy's weapon, and with a wide swing, instantly kills the second attacking soldier. The last one tries to sneak attack during the gap, but what he doesn't expect is that Ed has already reached his right hand into the Wanderer's treasury, and pulls out the false holy sword. Then with one slash, splits him in two. After eliminating all the soldiers, Ed turns his gaze to the demon commander. "Well then, General, you're the only one left. What will you do?" Hearing this, he responds, "I admit you're strong. You're probably the strongest in the hero's party, which is why you stayed here alone. But this very arrogance will ultimately cost you your life here. I won't let you reunite with your companions. I'll use my entire life to keep you here. This place will be your end." With these words, the demon army's commander releases a massive black hole that begins devouring everything around it. Just when he thinks he's completely eliminated Ed, a voice suddenly reaches his ears. "Me, the strongest? Don't make me laugh. Okasa always protects everyone, no matter what. His heart, his body, his muscles, stronger than anyone's. Alexis possesses infinite courage. No matter what obstacles he faces, he'll keep moving forward until he defeats the demon lord." Tia's smile encourages everyone. They're the best. That's who they are. Unlike some half-baked outsider like me. That's why, at this very moment, I'm betting everything I have. Even without me, they can still win. Hearing this, the demon army's commander bursts into laughter. "Did I lose? But I've already achieved my goal. Using such overwhelming power can't come without a price. Your life is now like a candle in the wind, about to be extinguished here. You'll never catch up to your companions. Die here alone. The strongest loser." With his crazed laughter echoing, Ed strikes down the demon army's commander, Grages. At this point, aside from the demon lord, virtually all of the demon forces have been annihilated by Ed alone. However, even so, due to the backlash from Crimson Mist Covenant of Finality, Ed's life is also reaching its end. My healing's gotten better, but it's still rough. Still, that wipes out all the enemies, which means I made it. This was child's play for me. Now no enemy can stop Alexis. Hang in there just a bit longer, my heart. I've done everything within my power. The rest is up to you guys, though if it's them, they'll definitely defeat the demon lord easily. So what will happen after that? The shattered world will no longer exist. Alexis and Okasa will have bright futures. As for Tia, she won't need to hide alone in the forest anymore. In this world, everyone will survive. But just as Ed is contemplating this, a stone suddenly catches his eye. Could this place be? The terrain has changed a bit, but there's no mistake. Is this fate, or is it inevitability? I see, so this is where I end. Tia, did I keep our promise properly? Did I bring that day's wish here properly? Perhaps no answer is the best reward. Right, I'll leave this behind. Once I'm gone, Tia and the others will probably keep searching for me. Thinking this, Ed takes out his sword. At the same time, a voice echoes in his mind once again. 10 seconds until return. He pays it no mind and quickly thrusts the weapon into the ground. This'll do. Leaving nothing behind would be be too sad. If they see this, maybe they'll understand I died here. Is my body at its limit? As these words end, Ed's body gradually transforms into blood mist. Watching his body crumble away, Ed shows no fear. Instead, he smiles and says, "With this, everything I wanted to do in this world is complete. Good luck, Alexis. I'm counting on you, Okasa. Take care, Tia." With these final words, Ed's figure completely vanishes into the light. All that remains is his sword, thrust into the ground at an angle. The faint glow on its blade seems to whisper through the silence. He was here. World transfer complete. With these words, Ed slowly opens his eyes. Phew. Looks like I made it back safely. This place is as dreary as ever. A pure white world. Now then, first the worn-out armor, the weakened body and abilities after transfer. And then the same old broken sword, same as in the first cycle. That's good. If anything had changed, that would be bad. I nearly died from the effects of exiled skills just now. Is this the same here too? As these words end, Ed lifts his head and gazes at that initial door. He unconsciously smiles. This time, those guys will definitely defeat the Demon Lord quickly. Not getting those Prince Buns is a shame. I'll treat myself once I clear all 100 doors anyway. I'll set that aside for now. Whenever I return here, I always... But before Ed can finish speaking, the crystal on the table suddenly glows. Honestly, I thought I wouldn't get anything. Didn't expect to receive something in the second cycle too. So is it a new skill or an upgrade to an existing one? Thinking this, Ed places his hand on the crystal full of anticipation. But nothing happens. Huh? What's going on? Just as he's puzzled by this, something heavy suddenly slams onto his head. For crying out loud, what kind of joke is this? Why does it always drop on my head? Even if you hate me, there should be a limit. Ed's eyes catch the fallen object, and he says in surprise, "It's not a white book this time. Heroic record result book. So this is the reward for this cycle's exile?" Thinking this, Ed pushes back his chair and begins flipping through the book. Alexis's autobiography? No wait, this content is a diary of Alexis from Deity's perspective? That's pretty twisted. It even has entries from when he was in diapers. This book records everything from Alexis's birth, containing his entire life. It records things even he doesn't know about himself. Even subconscious thoughts he's completely unaware of. Without a doubt, this is a book that records the entire life of the hero Alexis. Man, he was so impatient back then. He even made Okasa angry. The content reaches the part where Tia joins. At this point, Ed's hand slows down as he turns the pages. Here it is. I finally appear in the book too. It's such a strange feeling, like wandering through a dream. Seeing the world I know from a perspective I don't know is incredibly fascinating. But I suddenly realize I'm here, outside the book, watching everyone. So in their story, I really am just a... But the moment these words end, Ed's eyes widen. The book reads, "We actually had a fourth companion. Without him, we wouldn't have even been able to challenge the Demon Lord. He's the one who deserves praise. The true hero." That's laying it on a bit thick, isn't it? But I see, Alexis and the others really did defeat the Demon Lord. This finally puts Ed's anxious heart at ease. But at this moment, something suddenly rises from the floor, making Ed say in surprise, "What is it this time? A bookshelf?" Thinking this, Ed tries placing the heroic record result book into it, and finds the size is just right. I see. A dedicated bookshelf. It's still pretty empty, but you want me to fill these spaces, don't you? I wish I knew what happened to the other heroes besides Alexis, since it's called Heroic Record Result Book. I can understand why there are so few records after defeating the Demon Lord. Okasa probably returned to his country. But he isn't one to worry about. I'm more concerned about Tia. Is she traveling the world like she said back then? Or is she still looking for me? I hope she's not doing something foolish like that. Anyway, they'll definitely keep their promises. Now it's my turn. I'll make sure all the remaining 99 worlds reach perfect endings. But just as he's about to open the next door, the Demon Commander's final words echo uncontrollably in Ed's mind. "Die alone, strongest loser." Thinking of this, he self-deprecatingly chuckles bitterly. At this point, what are you getting sentimental about? Didn't you know that from the very beginning? This is the future you chose. Not staying in any world, not belonging anywhere, merely a passerby. To reclaim your happiness, you're willing to give up everything else. That's your... But at this moment, a dazzling light suddenly flashes behind Ed. When he turns around, a familiar figure comes into view. Through the efforts of the Heroes Party, humanity finally enters an age of peace. The strongest Heroes Party is formed. I am the hero. Defeating the Demon Lord will be easy. So you're my companions. Let's go, Ed, Tia, Okasa. Hearing this, one of the boys lowers his head and complains disappointedly, "Why do I have to play Ed again?" But a gentle voice reaches his ears. "Do you dislike Ed? He's the best friend acknowledged by the hero Alexis himself. He's very cool, you know." 10 years have passed since the day the Demon Lord was defeated and Ed disappeared. The world has somewhat returned to its former peaceful state. Among them all, I believe the Notland Kingdom is the most peaceful. Inside the palace throne hall, your highness will convey this message personally. That would be faster. I see. Understood. I'll handle that problem as quickly as possible. I assure you I'll explain it clearly to the citizens. Now, next person. Hearing this, the minister reminds the king this is the last one for today. Is that so? Then let me hear what brings you here. What do you need? A guest of the elves. Hearing this, Tia lifts her head and responds, "Thank you for granting me an audience, your majesty. Seeing you in good health is better than anything." However, the response she receives is, "The king's time is more precious than you think, so there's no need for pleasantries. Now then." But before he can finish, Tia cuts in. "Can't waste even 1 second, right, Alexis?" At this moment, he stands up and responds with a smile. "Tia, long time no see." But before he can finish being cool, Tia leaps, and embraces him. Alexis, long time no see. About 2 years, right? How have you been? You've completely become His Majesty the King. Hearing this, Alexis responds helplessly, let go first. Okasa couldn't come this time either? That's right. He said training his juniors will take a bit more time. I see. Did you travel by ship this time too? That's right. It took less than half the time of land travel. Seeing this, the minister not only doesn't stop Tia's improper behavior, but actually laughs heartily. Lady Tia is as free-spirited as always. Hearing this, she responds, Master Hoken, long time no see. It's fine if I chat with Alexis for a bit, right? Before he can speak, Alexis says, I should still have a meeting to attend. Really? Then I'll wait. Hoken replies, please, think nothing of it. I had heard of Lady Tia's visit and have already adjusted today's schedule accordingly. After catching up, the evening quickly turns to night. Gazing at the brightly lit, peaceful scenery outside the palace, Tia can't help but smile. At this moment, a voice reaches her ears. Tia, it's cold at night. Drink this. Hearing this, she immediately expresses her thanks. The town's lights are like a galaxy. The reconstruction is going well. That's Alexis for you. After taking a long breath, he responds, it's still far from enough. This is just the beginning, but we've finally taken the first step. The world outside the capital is still shrouded in darkness, but someday I'll bring light to every household. If I can't even do that, how can I keep my promise to him? Yeah. That day, after we finally defeated the demon lord, we used our last bit of strength to rush back to the fortress. But what remained there was only countless shredded demon corpses and Ed's sword. We at least wanted to send Ed's remains back to his homeland. For that, I spent many years searching. Maybe there was even a possibility Ed hadn't died. As Tia reminisces, Alexis suddenly reflects. It's been 10 years since then. It's about time you face reality and move on from the past shadow. I think Ed would want you to look forward too. After a moment of silence, Tia slowly says, Alexis, do you remember why I went to the Winter Kingdom? Of course, to research soul-sensing techniques, right? So what? But before he can finish, Tia cuts in. I succeeded, though I caused Okasa a lot of trouble. But thanks to him, I finally found where Ed is. No, more precisely, where Ed's soul is. Hearing this, Alexis can't help but exclaim in surprise. We searched the entire world without finding a trace. Is he really still alive? Yes, but I don't know how to get there. This statement leaves Alexis completely baffled. Don't know how to get there. What does that mean? Tia explains, because the distance I'm sensing is far too great, so much so that I don't know if Ed is on the other side of the ocean, or perhaps in the sky above, or even beyond this world. Hearing this, Alexis falls silent. He knows very well this might be a place they can never reach. Just as he's about to comfort Tia, she suddenly speaks. So, I thought of a good method. There is one, right? Magic that can reach the destination no matter how far. You mean transfer magic? But that, before Alexis can finish, Tia cuts in. Consumes too much magic power to be practical? Alexis nods. Yes, even you. That's right. Because I'm an elf, I have a bit more magic power. But even so, I think it's still far from enough. Hearing this, Alexis falls into thought and murmurs, we must find a way to gather magic power. Recruit volunteers from the entire nation. No, from the entire world? If it's for you and Ed, I believe people will support it. But the problem is your situation after teleportation. If you're forcibly transferred to an unknown location, there's no telling what dangers you'll face. We need to prepare for what comes after. But just as he's contemplating this, Tia's voice suddenly reaches his ears. Thank you, Alexis. But I'm sorry, because this is my selfishness. So I want to do it myself. If I cause trouble for others again, Ed will be angry. Even so, Alexis knows very well how difficult this is. Just as he's about to persuade her further, Tia responds with a smile. It's fine, because I'm a member of the heroes party that saved the world, right? So trust me with this. After parting with Tia, Alexis continues flipping through ancient texts in his room until late at night. Seeing this, Hoken enters the study and reminds him, Your Highness, it's about time to rest. I know. I'll rest after finishing this. Hearing this, Hokan asks if he'll be dining with Lady Tia this time. However, the response he receives is, no, there's no need this time. After all, she's finally found a clue leading to Ed. I don't want to disturb her. Hoken asks Alexis where Lady Tia is now. The response he receives is, in the archives, I suppose. I gave her permission to browse. She's probably concentrating on her research right now. During this time, I also want to do what I can. As these words end, Hoken worries, I understand your feelings, but please, Your Highness, don't push yourself too hard. You'll break down. Alexis laughs heartily. It's fine. After all, we finally caught the tale of our suddenly vanished friend. How could we let go? Ed, too, don't even think about escaping from my grasp. Meanwhile, inside the Notland Kingdom Palace, there are so many latest research papers, truly worthy of a state institution. At this moment, a staff member enters and says, here are all the materials you requested, compiled together. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to tell me. Hearing this, Tia immediately expresses her gratitude. Sorry for making you carry so much. However, the response she receives is, it's fine. If I can help Lady Tia, I could do this level of work all day. Please do your best. I'll support you. Alexis gave me access to the archives. Thanks to this, I can browse almost all materials managed by the National Research Institution. So many cutting-edge papers, no wonder it's a national-level institution. I'm truly fortunate to have such good friends. I'll definitely succeed. I absolutely must find Ed, no matter how much time it takes, even if it consumes most of my lifespan. The silver wing blade that Ed left behind is now kept in this nation's treasury. Through one of its feathers, I was finally able to learn Ed's location. I feel like I'm almost there, but it's still so far away. I thought I could finally see you. It's still not enough. Hey Ed, why? Why did you go somewhere so far? I miss you so much, Ed. But just as Tia is feeling sad about this, in her hazy state, something catches her eye. A title on a certain research document immediately catches her attention. Seeing this, Tia picks it up and says in surprise, this is on the practical implications of using external mana to cast large-scale spells. Researcher, Rouge. This instantly reignites her hope. Early the next morning, she rushes excitedly to where Alexis is. Good morning, Lady Tia. You look very happy. Did something good happen? Tia responds cheerfully, yes. Then she heads straight toward the council hall. Seeing this, the guard immediately panics. Please wait, Lady Tia. His Highness is currently... But before he can finish, Tia impatiently pushes the door open. Alexis, look at this. I found something amazing. With this, I can reach Ed no matter how far away he is. But as she says this, she realizes to her embarrassment that Alexis and his ministers are in the middle of a meeting. Seeing this, she can only say with a flushed face, sorry, I got a bit too excited, didn't I? Haha, very sorry for the interruption. After saying this, Tia immediately runs out of the room at lightning speed. Seeing this, the ministers laugh. Lady Tia's full of energy today. Did she discover something? Alexis, who's been holding back laughter, stands and says to everyone, let's take a break. Alexis then walks out of the room alone. He finds Tia still standing nearby, blushing. Seeing this, he calls out to her, Tia, you're not as calm as usual. Did something happen? After hearing this, Tia replies sheepishly that she's sorry for interrupting the meeting. Oh right, look at this. This paper is really amazing. What kind of person wrote it? After reading the researcher's name, Alexis responds, oh, it was her. She really is an outstanding talent. Hearing this, Tia immediately says with excitement that she'd like to borrow this paper. Just as she finishes speaking, Tia suddenly notices that Alexis is wearing armor. That outfit, Alexis replies. The place I'm about to inspect is a bit dangerous, but I'll be fine. You can take it. The original has already been stored away. By the way, what exactly did you discover? Tia immediately replies with excitement. If I can apply this theory, than the method I gave up on before. However, at this point, Tia suddenly stops. I'll keep the rest a secret. I'll tell you once I've figured everything out. Seeing that she doesn't plan to elaborate, Alexis doesn't press further. I see. I'm looking forward to it. Leave it to me. I'll complete this research in no time. Thank you, Alexis. Now it's my turn to work hard. Then I'll start right away. You do your best as king too, Alexis. Still so impulsive. That's so like you. After parting ways with Alexis, Tia immediately rushes to the rescue tower. Excuse me, may I bother you for a moment? I need to discuss something with you. I finally found the hidden shortcut. It's still just a hypothesis, but if I can make it work, I'll be able to cross worlds. Perhaps I'll be able to reach the place where Ed is. But to accomplish this, I must find an environment with dense magical power, and there's only one place in this world that meets this condition. That place is the magic mirror. If I'm there, I'll definitely be able to. After finally finding a method to cross worlds and reach Ed, Tia heads to the magic mirror alone. Although the place is still extremely dangerous, she doesn't ask Alexis or Okasa to come along. Tia knows clearly that both of them have their own duties and responsibilities to fulfill, so she doesn't want to trouble them anymore. After all, this is something she wants to do herself, so she must work hard on her own. Over these 10 years, Tia tried many methods. She doesn't even know if this attempt will succeed, but even if the hope is slim, she'll never give up, because everything about Ed remains in her heart. So no matter what price she has to pay, she will find Ed. For this, Tia travels across the mountains, rivers, and lakes of the demon realm, recording the flow of magical power everywhere. She keeps trying. She repeats failure after failure. But even so, Tia still doesn't give up. She continues studying the paper in her hands. She keeps analyzing her mistakes. After countless days and nights pass, Tia finally finds a dense forest. But there are countless magical beasts here. But no matter what stands in her way, she pushes forward. With her own hands, she carves out a path to where Ed is. During those countless lonely nights, only her memories of Ed keep her exhausted body going. They bring her warmth. Perhaps this determination moves the heavens. Tia's research finally shows promise. After planting with her own hands the seed called hope, Tia stops her travels and waits for the saplings to grow. Time passes. Winter arrives before anyone realizes it. At this moment, at a certain dock in Notland Kingdom, sailors are busily moving luggage for a sailing ship that has just docked at the port. The owner of this large ship is none other than a member of the hero's party, Okasa. Long time no see, Alexis. Has it been 4 years already? Hearing this, Alexis responds, Okasa, you're finally here. The response is, don't worry about it. The purification of that place is necessary. I've also selected and brought quite a few monks from Winter Kingdom. Thank you. If we can completely purify the miasma from that hellish place, then we can take the first step toward establishing a teleportation gate. A teleportation gate? I can't believe that kind of technology will be realized realized in my lifetime. Alexis replies with a smile. It's all thanks to Tia. She dug up so many forgotten papers. Hearing this, Okasa remarks, I see. By the way, where is Tia? She should have arrived here 3 months ago, right? She did come, but after discovering a clue about Ed, she ran off excitedly. Before that, she was with you, right? Yes, I merely gave her some advice. Hearing this, Alexis sits down and says quietly, I see. I wish she would rely on us more. True, we bear our own responsibilities and can't move freely like her, but our desire to see Ed is no less than hers. She doesn't need to shoulder the burden alone, yet this is exactly something Tia would do. Okasa replies, you're mistaken, Alexis. Just like us, Tia is simply working hard to fulfill her mission. Precisely because we're fulfilling our own responsibilities, she can search for that kid without hesitation. Lending a hand isn't the only way to help her, right? Hearing this, Alexis smiles knowingly. It seems even though I've become king, I still have much to learn. Ha ha ha, that's how life is. So where is Tia now? Some research facility? But the answer is no. She showed up, grabbed the paper I mentioned, and took off. How hasty. I think so too, but she's Tia after all. When she has an idea, she won't rest for a moment. Hearing this, Okasa can't help but remark, after all these years, she hasn't changed. By the way, do you have any more information? Like where she might have gone? However, just as Alexis is about to voice his speculation, a voice suddenly reaches their ears. My, are you discussing me? Hearing this, Alexis responds, speak of the devil. We were just discussing your paper. Can I ask you a few questions? The newcomer is none other than Rouge, the researcher behind the paper on the practical implications of using external mana to cast large-scale spells. Alexis asks, you know Tia has your paper, right? We want to know what her purpose is. However, the response is, you don't even know that? Do you want me to teach you? But you'll have to double my research budget. This sets Alexis off, and the two start arguing, but then a stern voice cuts through. Enough, you two. So Rouge, what's the actual situation? At this moment, Alexis says reluctantly, please tell me. I'll consider the budget matter. Seeing that Alexis has relented, Rouge replies, fine, but before that, have you read the paper? After they say no, Rouge sighs and starts from the beginning. The core of that paper is using environmental magical power. Simply put, it allows you to freely use surrounding magical power as if it were your own. Even now, large-scale formations require multiple mages to operate, but with this theory, one person could handle it alone. All you need is a magic circuit. As long as you can activate it at a basic level, anyone can pull this off. So a large, stable supply of magical power is necessary. You could even create a teleportation gate. Do you know how great this discovery is? This is a major breakthrough that could advance this world's magical technology by 100 years. Hearing this, Okasa says admiringly, I see. That's truly impressive, isn't it, Alexis? However, the response is, I already understood the general idea, but hearing it again is still shocking. In that case, where would Tia go? Okasa asks Rouge, does environmental magical power vary from place to place? Of course. Places with denser magical power definitely have higher spell efficiency. In other words, seeing Okasa lean in so close, a startled Rouge immediately says, you guessed right. If you narrow it down to places with the densest magical power, the most efficient spot would definitely be a place where magical creatures have always dwelled. Hearing this, Alexis and Okasa instantly guess Tia's destination, and both say in unison, the magic mirror. Realizing this, Alexis immediately pushes open the door and walks straight out. Seeing this, Rouge hurries after him. Alexis, wait, what's suddenly gotten into you? Alexis doesn't explain, but simply says, I'm sorry, the purification work at that place will have to be postponed. Hearing this, Rouge says in confusion, what are you talking about? Abandoning everything? Do you have some plan? However, the response is, not really. I just suddenly have an urgent matter. Starting now, I'm going to find Tia. Alexis's words leave Rouge utterly baffled. Okasa also catches up and says, right now? That's quite urgent. What's the reason? Of course, if Rouge is right, Tia should have already gathered all her cards. If we wait another 3 months, who knows when she'll go to Ed. Hearing this, Okasa can't help but say, how hasty. But that's also something Tia would do. Now that the Demon Lord has been defeated, his influence is gradually fading from the world. Yes, with Tia's current strength, she probably won't encounter any danger at the magic mirror. Precisely because of this, if we don't hurry, she might leave this world. Rouge rushes in front of the two and blocks them. Wait, you two? I can't follow what you're saying at all. You're not seriously going to the magic mirror, are you? Alexis responds, I understand what you want to say. If necessary, I can bow my head, but not this time. Let me do as I please for once. However, the response is, so explain your reason clearly, okay? Don't play dumb with me here. Before Alexis can speak, a familiar voice reaches his ears. Everyone, what's happening here? Upon seeing it's Hoken, Rouge immediately complains. You came at the right time. Come talk some sense into your foolish king. Rouge then tells him where Alexis plans to go next. After a moment of silence, Hoken slowly says, I see. In other words, Lady Tia may have already completed the transfer magic, right? Seeing him acting so nonchalant, an angry Rouge snaps, well, say something. You know something, right? How many people are involved in this plan? You know exactly how much chaos postponing this will cause. Not just for your kingdom, but for Winter Kingdom too. And right now, going to the magic mirror by Griffin takes a full 6 days. Do you plan to make me wait that long? This is absurd and unbelievable. At this moment, Hoken says, Your Majesty, I agree with Rouge's opinion. But even so, do you have a reason that you must go? Yes. No matter what price I must pay, I have to do this. This time, I want to personally see my companion off on her journey. This makes Rouge even more furious. What? This is completely personal. Don't underestimate what it means to be king. At this moment, Okasa Okasa, who has been silent, suddenly speaks. Don't say that, Rouge. He's just claiming the reward he deserves. This leaves Rouge confused.
What reward?
The reward for saving the world, of course. Alexis fulfilled his mission as a hero. Claiming a reward is his right, and now is the time he's claiming it. This is the wish of the hero who made everyone's wishes come true. Surely this much is acceptable? Of course, I'll go too, since I also want to claim my reward. Just as Rouge is about to continue arguing with the two, Hoken beside them suddenly laughs heartily. I see. I understand now. Then please enjoy your vacation, Your Majesty. No, hero Alexis. Seeing that even Hoken has given in, a helpless Rouge can only pout and say, do as you please. At this moment, Hoken stands up and says, leave his matters to me. I look forward to good news from you, Your Majesty. Hearing this, Alexis also smiles. Thank you, Hokan. Well then, Okasa, let's head out now. Seeing this, Rouge mutters, that's why men are always acting like children. Ha, ha ha ha, true enough. But isn't this rather nice? Someone who has been fighting for the world and humanity can be willful for a friend, and he firmly believes this is the right thing to do. I'm very happy about that. Please spread your wings and fly freely, Your Majesty. With these words, Alexis and Okasa set out for the demon realm. Tia, you, Okasa, and Ed are all irreplaceable companions to me, but the paths we walk in the future are different. I understand this very well. That day's fireflies, even though they were so warm, when we realized the fire had gone out, we had already set out on our separate paths. So at least let me see you off on your journey, so that I'll have no regrets. With these thoughts ending, the two finally fly to the magic mirror. At this moment, Okasa suddenly shouts, Alexis, look! Hearing this, Alexis looks down and says in astonishment, what on earth is all this? They didn't expect the demon realm's ecosystem to have changed so drastically. There are so many massive trees that don't belong here. Someone clearly planted them. Then this must be... Hearing this, Alexis responds, undoubtedly Tia's work, but what's the purpose? Just as Alexis is still pondering this, Okasa's voice reaches his ears. Look, Alexis, there's smoke rising over there. The two immediately fly in that direction. When they arrive, they're shocked to find a treehouse sitting in a clearing. Seeing this, Alexis immediately jumps off the griffin and shouts eagerly, Tia, you're here, aren't you? As soon as the words leave his mouth, a flustered voice comes from inside the treehouse. Alexis, why are you... Wait, I'll be right out. Coolly, they're companions. Calm down. Then Tia opens the door. Alexis and Okasa, what are you doing here? Anyway, come in first. The place is a bit small, but it's quite nice, isn't it? Hearing this, Alexis asks, did you build this house? Yes, with magic, of course. By the way, how did you get here so early? The letter I sent should have just arrived. Hearing this, Okasa says with a puzzled expression, what letter? This makes Tia completely confused, while Okasa and Alexis are even more baffled. Seeing this, Tia bluntly says, wait, then what are you here for? After some time passes, I see. So Okasa went to see you, Alexis, to prepare for the teleportation gate. That plan's going well, right? After all, that paper is undoubtedly correct. I've personally verified it. Hearing this, Alexis and Okasa respond, so you've already experimented with it? That forest we saw from above is your achievement, isn't it? Tia says proudly, that's right. Pretty impressive, isn't it? It took some time, but I figured it out. These special trees can collect and store surrounding magical power. This treehouse has the same effect. That's why I could complete the preparations alone. Okasa asks with a puzzled expression, you said collect? So these trees are the anchor points? Exactly. Using trees that have stored large amounts of magical power as anchor points and connecting them through their roots, I can form a large-scale magic formation. Once activated, all the gathered magical power can transport me to where Ed is. The preparations are complete. That's why I sent you letters. I wanted to say goodbye properly. Hearing this, Alexis falls silent. Okasa raises his head and says, you really put in a lot of effort, so when do you plan to execute it? However, the response is, let me think, how about tomorrow? As soon as these words are spoken, Okasa and Alexis immediately shout excitedly, tomorrow is way too hasty. To this, Tia feels, but haven't we already said goodbye properly? Besides, don't you two still have things you need to do? So, I'm leaving. Seeing that she's finally about to fulfill her years-long wish, Okasa says nothing more but feels happy for her. Alexis gives up. I can't argue with you. Then let's talk all night long and catch up. Hey Ed, I'll be able to see you soon. They're sending me off with all these stories to tell. Will that make you happy, Ed? Or will you be angry? Either way, I just want to see you. Even if it means saying goodbye to the happiness of this moment. Even so, I want to see you again no matter what. Hey Tia, do you still have feelings for him? Alexis once asked Tia this question, and at that time, she didn't give an answer. But at this moment, there's no hesitation in Tia's heart, which allows her to answer firmly, yes. Hearing this, Alexis shows a relieved smile. I see, after a night passes, the time comes to noon when magical power is at its densest. At this moment, Tia brings the two to a massive stone protected by layers of branches. Seeing this, Alexis asks, is this where Ed's sword was left? The response is, that's right. The last place where Ed's traces can be confirmed. I think this is the closest place to Ed, so I plan to activate the formation here. After exchanging glances with each other, Alexis says, Tia, we have something we want to give you. This makes Tia very curious. What are you giving me? After building some suspense, Alexis pulls out a necklace from his pocket. Just a small farewell gift. The investigation team found this when they were searching for the holy sword. It has weak healing properties, these. Okasa pulls out gauntlets as well. My family's craftsman made these. Top grade armor. With this, the preparations are complete. Seeing this, Tia asks the two, how is it? Does it fit? By the way, is there any change? At this moment, the two respond in unison, perfect. After making all the preparations, Tia also says goodbye to the griffin that has been by her side. Then she rushes to the other side. Thank you, Alexis Okasa. You are my best friends and companions. You've always quietly supported me from behind. Well then, I'm setting off. With these words, Tia takes out the crystal and the fragments of the silver wing blade. Farewell is not the end. It's an important step forward. My beloved dear friends, as the teleportation portal is successfully deployed, Tia's figure disappears into the magic circle. The light emitted breaks through the sky and continues onward into the vast universe. Ed! Ed! Where are you, Ed? However, just as Tia anxiously waits for the teleportation to end, familiar voices suddenly come from around her. Oh, that's right, Tia. That runaway porter you mentioned before, what kind of guy was he? At first glance, he was just an ordinary man. Seeing this, Tia can't help but say in astonishment, what is this? Wait, is this the dream world I saw before? No, what is this? Like a current, scenes from memories I've never seen keep pouring out endlessly. This isn't a dream. This is the soul calling out. These are my memories engraved upon my soul. At this moment, fragmented images suddenly appear. Ed, grant my wish, whether past or future. Take everything I have. Seeing this, Tia immediately shouts desperately, Ed, no! However, just as she's about to approach him, Tia discovers she's getting further and further from Ed. Is this going back to where I was? Even using so much magical power isn't enough? I'm so close. Ed, please, your hand. However, no matter how Tia struggles, she's ultimately swallowed by the spatial turbulence. The passage returns to silence, as if no one had ever been there. But at this moment, the spatial barrier containing the divine supreme law suddenly splits open. Tia, holding the blade Ed gave her, actually cleaves the void with one strike. No, I'm the one who should reach out. You changed the past, so I will give you the future. Reach where Ed is. With absolute determination, Tia finally breaks through the turbulence. When she opens her eyes again, a familiar figure comes into view. At this moment, Ed also senses something unusual and turns his head. The next second, that familiar figure appears before him in a shower of shattered light. Everything feels real, yet surreal at the same time. At this moment, Tia can no longer suppress the joy in her heart. I found you. I can't confirm whether this is a dream or not. But seeing this, Ed says in disbelief, no way. What kind of joke is this? Lord God, this prank is going too far. How could Tia possibly be here? However, as soon as these words are spoken, Tia throws herself into his arms. I found you. I finally found you, Ed. Hearing this, the doubt in Ed's heart instantly vanishes. This voice, this warmth, without a doubt, it's the real Tia. You fool, how did you follow me here?